Okay, hey guys. Welcome to the live. Anyways, what is today? February 11th. So it's been like 11 days since Nancy Guthrie's disappearance. I think my camera went crazy for a second. It looks like it's blurry. 1 second here. Anyways, welcome to the live again. And 1 sec. Let me just fix my camera. I don't know why it does that. I don't know why I did that at the last second, but we'll fix that. And over here. Come on, light. Anyways, well, sorry guys. Anyways, if you guys haven't hit that like and the share for Nancy Guthrie, and again, I'm just fixing my camera, so I'll be right. I don't know why I did that at the last second. I think no, is that better? Nope. I don't know why. Anyways, it was just fine a minute ago. Until okay, is that better? Okay, I think that's better now. Whatever. And boom, 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 boom. Sorry about that. But anyways, and then my Streamlabs for some reason isn't going off right now like it should. But anyways, we're gonna kind of get right into it in a second. I just think that this case is really wacko, like it's really bizarro. So that's what I put on my title. Let's see if it kicks in. They found a black glove and a ski mask. Oh, there, finally, Streamlabs, you laggy little. You're a bad mod sometimes. But I heard something about the ski mask on Twitter. But isn't sometimes you just experience these cases, and this sure is the highlight of one wacko, bizarro, weirdo case. Like what? Just watching everything like that. The poor guy that was or detained yesterday, Carlos P something or never however you say his last name. Like I was watching that thing, I was watching JLR throughout the night there, and I remember, so as I was watching JLR live, all of a sudden, that Carlo guy, had come home, and then the media starts storming right in front of the porch of where he lives, and he's out speaking for a few minutes. But I mean, imagine having a job, and his job is to deliver, like whatever UPS packages. The mom's talking, saying, and of course we up when the mom says, no, it's definitely not him, and stuff. And then, like you're just having a regular day type of thing. And next thing you know, you get, stopped, and, you're delivering, I think it was, was it Uber Eats or no, one or whatever it was, one of those skip the dishes type of thing. And anyways, and then your name gets plastered everywhere, right? And imagine like the people that work with this dude are probably like going, what the fuck? Does he have something to do with the disappearance? And then all of a sudden it's like cops start driving away. And then it's almost like, sorry, dude. But we had to check into but do you know what I mean? So not only on top of the back and forth and Nancy to Annie's, Nancy, blah, 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 blah. They put out that video, which was good. At least we got to see that of the suspect that's in front with his freaking little flowers, cactus flowers there. So you hear about this professional ransom note, and yet you got Dusseldorf there sitting there, with freaking ring door camera. Oh, I never would have thunk it, sitting there. It's just you got this ransom note that TMZ says is very whatever, like very articulate, blah, 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 blah. And then all of a sudden you got some guy waving some freaking, plant in front of a camera, like, oh shit, never even thought about that one, So it's just kind of crazy, to me that this whole thing so far, and just to watch the, 1 minute they're there, then they're not at the home, they release it, gets contaminated by people. We were able to see blood spots and stuff like that at the front, and it's just crazy. Like it feels like you're watching, like, do I dare, like, I'm gonna say this very loosely, but it feels like you're watching a bunch of donkeys, like leading the fucking pack. and you're just going, do you guys even know which way is up and down at this point, left and right? I don't know. Like, and I don't really want to, I don't want to take away from their hard work, because obviously, but it's just like nationally, it's coming off like a bunch of buffoons, almost like, as watching this whole thing unfold, you know. Hi, Suzanne. And then, anyways, of course, you guys, welcome to the live. So, I know. So, I'm gonna play basically just a bunch of different stuff that has come out today. With regards to this case. Obviously, it just feels like. I mean, I feel like there's going to be an outcome at some point here for sure. I I was very hopeful yesterday. You know, Tucson 857 or whatever is reporting, on the scanner, you hear about an 84-year-old, and you're thinking, yeah, Nancy's on her way to the hospital, da 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 da. Yay, she's alive. There was a lot of hope yesterday about that. And then it was just like, oh, right, wrong dude, you know? Okay, next person, and it was just weird. But anyways, it just leaves you with a little bit of salt on the tongue a little bit watching this all. But knowing full well, like, that, they're working their butts off at the same time, trying to figure this out, and so now I feel like, okay, back to my feeling of Nancy not being alive again, and because that the guy at the door is not the person writing no ransom letter. Okay, it's like, you got some guy that's apparently sophisticated, with his ransomware and sending it off encrypted and bitcoins and blah blah blah, and then we have another doofus that literally sits there and says, you know what, I know who the kidnappers are. Give me one bitcoin, and I'll tell you who it is. Really? So what? Another con man meeting the other con man, in a sense, or maybe that person actually does have knowledge of who about Nancy Guthrie. But in this world, I mean, honestly, you have to be very skeptical about anything like that, because all I see it is, oh, another leech trying to siphon money out of a sad case, asking for one Bitcoin worth, reported at 56. Someone, another channel said 66. Either way, let's just slice it and call it 60K, you know, and I'll give you that information, and it just seems like a bunch of, when it, like, things are so money motivated. What did you guys think of that? Anyways, I think that they have botched this case from the beginning. Poor Nancy, well, at the end of all this botching, though, I just hope that, answers come quickly. um I hate to say regardless of the outcome, but regardless of the outcome, here, after a point, it's just, as time goes on, you have less faith in believing that somebody's alive, and then you look to other cases that, where there has been a time period gone by and you're like hopeful, but it's hard not to be pessimistic, you know, in light of everything that's going on and stuff like that. I don't know. Especially when you got like people full on, in this case. And then you're just like, so what, we're 11 days in now, and you kind of detained a wrong person there, didn't ya? Basically made his life look like a bowl of shit in the one night, and everyone, I mean, it was nice that Carlos talked to the media for just a little bit, and then of course the outcome, he's like, well, it's clear my name. Well, no kidding. After it was just blasted across social media, the moms outside, they took their phones, basically the police are saying, well, you're just gonna have to go find somewhere else to stay the night, and da 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 da, break down the door, back garage and stuff like that. Anyways, we're gonna play the TMZ clip first from this morning. I thought that one was, Harvey Levin. He's talking on Fox News, and you know, there's things that he wants to say, things that he's not saying, obviously. But where's Nancy? Where are you, Nancy? Okay, so that's Brian Entin's one. I'm just, is it this one? Yeah, I think it's this one here. Anyways, if you haven't hit that like, please hit that like and the share for Nancy Guthrie. Just again, always the victims of the missing and the murdered, first and always foremost. Okay, that's kind of how I do things. It's what matters most. And I know this sounds really bad, but someone said to me yesterday, like, "Why do you care?" And I'm like, "Well, what do you mean? Why do I care?" Like I thought I don't know, I just thought that was, like, a very cold, thing to say, like, "So you're covering it, but why do you care?" Well, if I didn't care, I wouldn't be covering anything. If I didn't care about people, I didn't spend all my life in hospitality and customer service. Ever since I was young, I could detect people's feelings, like as an adult, I say aura because, you know, you could just tell when somebody was, you know, you tell when somebody was evil. You could tell when somebody was sad. You could tell when somebody was nice and kind. And that was something I always had since I was younger, but I always was very much, and being to the extent of a deep empath where it actually affects me because it doesn't matter what I'm doing in my career or whatever, all of it's been about interactions, with people, all different kinds of walks of life, whatever, working from the hospitality to customer service to, when I've had my own businesses and stuff like that. It's just been, one of those things is that you hear, their stories, and I'm always feeling like if somebody tells me a story, I feel sad instantly in my heart. And instantly my heart takes me to that place of if I was in their shoes, right? So my heart instantly goes in this case to if I was in, particularly in Savannah's shoes. Um, and it starts, weeding out about the hurt and the pain that that person must be going through. Because obviously, if this was my mother, how would I feel and stuff like that? And, so when someone said, well, like, why do you care? Well, it, that lady, the mom, it's kind of like to her too. It's just like just a story scrolling up, right? Yeah, I've seen it and I get it. I mean, people do that, right? Somebody died. Okay, scroll, 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 and whatever. But for me, it's just like I said, when I wouldn't do anything if I didn't care about people because I'm not motivated by anything else. Besides, okay, people and love are my two biggest things, right? And so they kind of both work hand in hand together. But I can't believe it when somebody says like, why do you care? It just comes off as just rude, ignorant, like because I give a fuck about people, you know? American TV made us believe in NCIS, hi Julie, and Texas Ranger. Reality is sloppy. Um, Policing, such as Nancy Guthrie and Sebastian Rogers. Mm, mm. Add some more to that one, to be honest with you, Julie. Anyways, let's play the TMZ or the it's Harvey Levin from TMZ, and he's on Fox. Okay, so we'll play that.
To you that you report to law enforcement. We are at an hour of desperation and we need your help.
So that was late Monday afternoon. This is Wednesday morning, day 11 in the search for Nancy Guthrie. My next guest says he and his team has finally seen activity in a Bitcoin account tied to possibly a ransom note sent to news outlets in Arizona. TMZ founder Harvey Levin's with me now. And Harvey, good morning to you. Terrific work from the very beginning on this. Your outlet received an original letter. You did not receive a second letter where another affiliate did. So by my count, that's two letters. And you now report that TMZ has just been sent a third letter. Please explain and describe what you got about 90 minutes ago.
So an hour and a half ago, we got kind of a bizarre letter, an email from somebody who says they know who the kidnapper is and that they have tried reaching Savannah's sister, Annie, and Savannah's brother to no avail. And they said they want 1 Bitcoin sent to a Bitcoin address that we have confirmed is active. It's a real Bitcoin address. And as they put it, time is more than relevant. So we have no idea whether this is real or not, but they are making a demand. It's interesting that, Bitcoins fluctuate in value.
I'm going to stop it there. Probably going to stop along different ways. Pathetic. This another note ransom, not ransom, another note comes in. Well, you know what? Hi, Citizen Sleuth. How are you? This note comes in basically saying, I can tell you who the kidnapper is, but you know what? I tried. I was kind of nice enough to try to reach out to, the brother and the like Savannah, obviously, but couldn't do it. So I'm gonna send TMZ, an email saying, hey, if you could just pass on to the family that if you guys give me 1 Bitcoin, I'm gonna give it. Oh, really? Isn't because a real genuine good person, right? That isn't money motivated would actually give that information because of humanity, right? So that's just another low-life parasite of the world trying to reap off of the case, regardless if the person has information or not. It's just disgusting. You're disgusting, that person that sent that into you are disgusting, and you don't even care. But that's where you want karma to come rear its freaking head and freaking kick him in the nuts or whatever all the way down the street, and make him pay for exactly doing shit like that. Because a real, genuine, good person would just simply call to the FBI or whatever and give off the tip. Right? Right.
But it's around $56,000 now, 1 Bitcoin, which is about the amount that the authorities are offering for information leading to the return of Nancy. So I don't know if that aligns, but whoever sent this, and they actually give a name and an email address, but whoever sent this is asking for around that amount via Bitcoin for information they say leads directly to the person.
Let's take it a step at a time here, Harvey. Take me back to the original letter. I believe you were the one who said whoever wrote that letter, I don't think you used the word meticulous, but I'll use that word, suggesting that the grammar was right. The letter was very specific about the requests and the demands. Does this letter have the same form that you saw the first time around?
No, and I don't think this person is purporting to be that person. Okay. This person is purporting to be someone who probably wrote that first letter. If the FBI's operating theory is right, that they are going on the assumption that the person who wrote this note took Nancy. And so they're not saying they're the kidnappers. They're saying they know who the kidnapper is and will give that information up for 1 Bitcoin. Okay. And again, we looked at this address. It's a pretty bold thing that the address is real.
Okay. There were 2 other Arizona affiliates in Tucson, KGUN9 and another one. Did they also receive the same note? Or do you know?
I don't know. We haven't talked to them.
All right. Now,
Harvey, Bill, we've sent this on to the FBI already.
Okay. Confirmed on that. I watched your interview last night with Sean. You were very careful as to what you said, and I respect that and the contact that you have with authorities. There was, late last night, there was a Bitcoin address that had $6 million deposited in it. I don't know if that's real or a ruse, but I'm sure you know of it. When you looked at that address, did it match what you saw in letter number 1 from several days ago?
I am not comfortable commenting on this.
Okay, so then it's possible that the Bitcoin address that was requested turned out to be this particular one. And that would
wouldn't read anything. I wouldn't read anything into this.
Okay, so the suggestion that money was paid may not necessarily be the case. Is that what you're saying?
Correct.
Okay. When you watch the camera video that was sent out yesterday, does it make sense for you as to why the FBI would give you this image and that image, but they would not give us the image of the camera being ripped away? And based on some inside reporting, it's been suggested that whoever was standing in front of that door took the doorbell camera with them. it seems to me if they were familiar with that house, they would have known there was a camera there when they approached it. And this whole idea about taking these flowers and sticking over the camera lens, it seems a little foolhardy to me. And if you're right about the initial letter, that they were so careful in the way they constructed the letter itself, this wouldn't match the meticulous nature of that first individual. How do we make sense of that, Harvey?
You see it exactly the way I see it. I could not agree with you more the way you put it, that the just the thought that went into this letter doesn't match the thought of somebody coming up fully disguised, knowing that they don't want to be seen, and not even thinking, gee, people have these cameras on their door. You know, you don't have to even have cased her door or property to just make an assumption that she may well have a camera like that. And you should be ready to somehow block it. You know, have a piece of cardboard, have something to immediately block it. And this person walks up almost surprised that there is a camera there, and then walks over and stoops down in the garden area, grabs some shrubs. I agree with you. It just does not align.
Let me ask another question about some of the activity around Annie Guthrie's house last night. Our reporters have been there. They saw him poking around in different areas, different neighbors' yards and the backyards there, and apparently some of them readily gave access to the FBI. Let me ask you an uncomfortable question. Do we know the status of the relationship between Annie and her husband?
And Annie and who?
Her husband.
Look, no. And look, I know why you're asking this, and let's just put it on the table. There have been all sorts of, you know, reports, especially on social media. People are talking about who it could be. I have absolutely no basis to even raise that. And I'm not saying it's true or not true, but I've done checking the way everybody else has. And so far, I just don't have any information to give it credibility or shoot it down.
Okay, let me ask another uncomfortable question since we're in this area here. They have not told us after the garage door closed where the son-in-law went. And the sheriff was very careful not to say who dropped her off, but it's been reported that it was the son-in-law. And is there any reporting after that they've been able to track where that vehicle went when they left her home, assuming they did?
I'm not privy to that information. I don't know. I'm only going to say what I know, and I just don't know.
Okay, understood on that. One last thing. This $300 that was deposited last night that you were talking about with Sean, has that gone anywhere since that was reported last night by you?
I have never said an amount, and there is a reason I haven't said an amount, and I am going to stick to that regardless of what anybody else has said. There are reasons behind why I'm saying that, but I gave my word on something, and I don't want to impede this in any way. And I'm going to stick to what I said, which is simply that there was activity, and I'm not going to say more about what the activity is.
I respect that. Like that. Last question then. Do you believe they're onto something here, or do you believe they're closer to a dead end?
Well, look, yes, that they have avenues that they are pursuing. I know this. And I know this on one count, absolutely. And on a second count, look, he is dressed head to toe in various items. And I am sure that and I will say one other thing, Bill, that law enforcement has told me they are operating under the theory that this person lives in the Tucson television area. And that's why they've had so much contact with the local television stations there. So I am assuming at this point, and I don't think this is a leap of faith, that they are contacting anybody who, while you're showing the glove there, anybody who might have sold a glove like that, who may have sold a backpack like that, may have sold a sweatshirt like that, pants like that, anything, that they are contacting them, because we have seen time after time that one of the ways they catch people is that they will find somebody who bought something 2 weeks ago, and they look at the surveillance video of who's in the store. Even if they paid cash, they have a time on what to look for and who goes to the cash register with the item and walks out. And that happens all the time in law enforcement. So I think what he's wearing, aside from the fact that somebody may be familiar with it, they are going to try to find out who bought it. And if they bought it within a fairly narrow time frame before this, because these are not things that I would think people just ordinarily have. I mean, the gloves are bizarre. So I would think they are contacting all sorts of establishments. They would probably contact manufacturers, but certainly retailers, and then to see if you can nail down who bought something like that, and then look at surveillance.
Thank you.
I'll pause that for a sec.
Justice for Nancy.
Thank you, Susan. Appreciate that. I just paused it for a sec because it goes off and then it reads it on the super chat. Oh, my bad. I didn't put it up. Thank you so much for that. I can't agree. Like, I mean, I can't get by that he goes back and picks up some freaking twigs from a plant and sits there like a total doofus. But I absolutely agree. And it is normal, right? They're going to look at everything he's wearing, hope to get a tip from somebody that knows what that this item that, this person bought that I know of, or, the knapsack, and they're going to go check. They're going to look into people that may be suspicious. They're going to look at their banking and all that history and stuff like that. I mean, that kind of is a given. And maybe they'll find out something. I mean, their best answer is going to come out from somebody that possibly knows this person and can sit there and say, because they recognize the, backpack or the, balaclava, ski mask, whatever you want to call it. And, I mean, as for the nitro gloves and stuff, those can be purchased anywhere. That's going to be a leap of faith, but obviously, somebody that did some purchasing recently and stuff like that. So that's a given. What I have a hard time reconciling is the fact that and Harvey Harvey said something at the end that doesn't make sense to me, but it's the fact that you get this note, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Harvey said that they deemed it wasn't AI. Okay. But that this person's articulate, sophisticated, smart. He obviously knows, how to work his way through the dark web and blah, 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 Bitcoin, and then you have dumbass here, who doesn't even think that there's a Ring doorbell camera, and then goes back and picks up twigs. It's just, it's like watching like Dumb and Dumber movie when you see something like this. And when you watch someone like this, you're like, in your head, you're like, how can you guys not figure it out? When obviously you got the smartest brainiac right here using a plant to try to cover up a Ring doorbell camera. There's no way that this guy freaking is a brainiac. Now, if there's, of course, multiple people involved in this, whatever and again, to me, it's like, I don't see it as revenge. I just see it as greed. I see this whole case as just money. Just, Shannon, do you agree? Money, 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 money. That's all I see out of all this. Hi, Big Blue. Thank you for subscribing. Are they? Yeah, well, that's just it. And then you have to keep asking yourself, why do they keep going back and forth to, Annie's home and stuff? Like, are they stopping in for fucking donuts and tea? Just always stop by. Oh, by the way, we're just looking for something that somebody may have dropped on the ground. Okay, so if somebody dropped something on the ground and you're wanting to check neighbors' homes around there, well, I mean, doesn't that kind of seem like 2 + 2 on that one? So if you're literally looking around the home of Annie, doesn't that maybe equate to somebody that is either Tomassimo tomato guy, a friend of Tomassimo's, perhaps Dominic. You know what I mean? Because you're like, to even insinuate that you're looking for something on the ground would insinuate really that there's some suspicion over there, I would think, you know? Yeah, I mean, I heard that. A second. Yeah, I think it's just great. Sweet Ladies 84, how desperate are you? Well, you got some doofus again sitting there asking for a Bitcoin. So it's just, ugh. It just makes me want to upchuck like to no level when it comes to the greed of people, of what they try to do to insert themselves in GoFundMe's, try to, take advantage of sad situations and stuff like that. But here you have, like I said, and please let me label you dumbass, okay? For sitting there, oh, camera, oh, let me just get some twigs. Who even thinks to actually do that? Like, who even thinks to go, let me just, what else, what plant can I use over here? Instead of just using a bold ass hand, right? But no, let me go look for a fucking bush that's see-through, and sit there and try to not show my face. It's ridiculous. How convenient that they find a black skin. Yeah, what the heck? Okay, yeah, what the heck's up with that? Anyways, let me just play this out here. Thank you guys for being here.
This video, and that tells a whole story.
Please
because
hit the like,
whoever
at least,
bought
if you
that
don't
did
mind.
not walk in looking like that.
Harvey, how much more time do you have? I'm told that you have a deadline here. Can you still talk with us?
Yeah.
Okay. I want to bring in my
colleague.
colleague Dana, and let's go ahead and open this discussion up. And I really want to drill down on what you told Sean last night. You said when that first letter arrived, you read it. This is a really intelligent person who knows how to express the thought. They have thought this out. They cover everything they need to cover. That's a very intriguing answer. Can you take that a step further?
Well, yeah. I mean,
To me,
and
this
we've been
is a
saying this
dumbass
for
remark.
days now.
Dumb.
That I would assume, I mean, if I were putting an APB out, and I'm not law enforcement, but if I were putting an APB out, I would ask people in the Tucson area, do you know anybody who is intelligent, who is tech savvy? And now you can say someone with a somewhat stocky build, with a mustache and a beard and or goatee, and somebody who has just gone MIA over the last week, because I'm assuming this person is not walking around in public. And to me, that's a clue, because I think all of those things align. And reading that first note, I think it is an intelligent person. I think it is a tech savvy person, because we were on the phone with the FBI a couple hours after we got the letter, and everybody was trying, including my IT team, trying to figure out something about who sent it, and we hit a dead end. So it's somebody tech savvy, and that's at least an avenue to go. But there may be something with a Bitcoin. There may be something with that kind of description, in terms of a lead. There may be something in terms of tracking down who was wearing something like that in the past, or whether it was purchased. So there are avenues they are clearly going down to try and figure out who this is.
Okay, Harvey. More to come. Appreciate you sharing what you have. Thank you, Harvey.
Thank you, Harvey. Now, the thing that I couldn't believe that Harvey said is like he's trying to attach the smart person. So if I was looking for somebody, I'd look for somebody that's sophisticated, smart, intelligent, intellectual, obviously knows about Bitcoin and this. I'd look for somebody that holds flowers in front of a camera. Like, how would you even equate that to the same person, right? So, and that's what, to me, he was doing. It's like, so you're going to attach the smart person, that's this guy here, to the guy that holds up the little freaking plant in front of a camera. It just was like, okay, no, I'm not going to attach dumbass here to maybe the person that wrote thing. If they're two different people, granted. But I don't think I'd be on a bolo lookout for a guy that holds flowers up to a Ring doorbell camera, and yet he's sophisticated enough to be very smart and wise and wouldn't know that there's a Ring doorbell camera at all, and then goes and grabs the freaking plant. Seriously. Okay. I'll play that one thing quickly that I came across. Again, thank anyone for being here. Thank you guys. Again, Susan, thank you very much for that super chat a minute ago. And is this the one? No, this is the one. So I just on my Twitter, I saw that Pascal had put this up. So I will play it. And here, I take this down. What'd you say? Was he trying to use flowers to flick off the camera because the gloves and the fat fingers? Wait, what did Cassie say? There's been more than one case, and then because that guy on the video is not that. Absolutely. Sorry, Cassie. Sharon, I've been kind of out of it today because we had put a family member bloodhounds. Oh, I'm so sorry. You know what? Sometimes animals mean more than humans. Just saying. So I'm not up to the current fines. I get that. You know what, Cassie? My husband was just telling me about a friend of his online that he games with. His one dog died. I think it was a German Shepherd, and then like the next day, the next dog dies, which was like a Labrador. Now, obviously, that seems really strange, but same thing, right? Animals, animals to me, like I said, I think I love them more than humans because maybe besides my husband, perhaps. Nah, I still love animals more, and my son first, then animals. But anyways, it's just so sad. I mean, like I said, they're just like your family. So I'm so sorry to hear that. Okay, so big air hugs. Okay, on that one. I understand. I'll put it that way. And I'm sure a lot of us do, because usually people that are in here are, empathic and, love animals and stuff like that too. And if you don't love animals, honestly, there's something wrong with you. Okay. And that's just true. If you don't love animals, something wrong with you as a person. Share Twitter. And okay, so I saw Pascal put this up. Okay. So I'll just play this for a minute.
100 East 1st Avenue. Caller said she found a ski mask on the ground in the alley near her garage. Looks like the same mask the assailant was wearing in the Nancy Guthrie case. Sounds like you're 100 East 1st Avenue. Caller said she found a ski mask on the ground in the alley near her garage. Looks like the same mask the assailant was wearing in the Nancy Guthrie case.
Who found the?
Sounds like you're
Wait.
100 East 1st Avenue. Caller said she found a ski mask on the ground in the alley near her garage. Looks like the same mask the assailant was wearing in the Nancy Guthrie case.
Okay, so it sounds like, I think she said Paula. That's what the name sounded like to me. Yeah, and even bugs and spiders. Too far. Shannon, too far. Okay. No, I'm just kidding. I saved a fly out of the toilet at work yesterday. All right. Little fucker was sitting in there. Right. And I was like, look, I want to flush. And they're like those small flies. Right. So I take one and I get, because there's two. Right. I call them my friends at work now, because in the big stall, because I always like to use the big stall. And so there's like always like a couple flies in there, but they're like little baby ones. But I'm like, dude, I don't want to flush you down the toilet, but I seriously need to flush the toilet, need to get back to work. But anyways, so then I gave it a quick little flush, like just a little half a piece of a flush, right? And then they're fast. They're fast, not gonna lie, man. Freaking gone. And I was like, lucky, right? Could have drowned you. But anyways, I saved his ass, just saying. So anyway, so they become my friends. Whenever I go into the stall, it's like, hello, little flies. How are you today? No, I'm not taking a shit. But you can enjoy the toilet bowl anyway. But anyways, I do love animals more than most humans. And Hank is my Higgins daddy, so I doubt it. So it was double hard. I showed him love until it's like, absolutely. Oh, I'm so sorry on there. And I'm so sorry to crack a joke about my freaking fly and shit thing going on, by the way, in the midst of your sadness here. I wasn't trying to, actually. So I take that back. Didn't go to the bathroom at all. All right. But anyways, total animal lover. Animals and children. Those are my especially my soft hearts. And the elderly is right there as well. Shannon, you don't have to do this all the time. You do it so much. But thank you. Susan, I feel like I just want to tell you this. Shannon beat you by 1 cent. You could have wagered that extra 1 cent to make it even. Just kidding. Thanks, Shannon. Appreciate that. Yeah. Okay. So somebody's named Paula, I guess, found a mask. So where was this glove found? So that's the only piece that I saw on only because I saw that ICML had put that up there. Let's see here. So where was the black glove found? Supposedly, you guys said. Do 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 do. Bum, 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 bum. Yeah, only snake I want to see is my husband's. That's it. She's doing me one up. That I know, right? I know. Someone always has to take away the moment, doesn't it? Found 1.5 miles from home. Okay. Well, let's see what they can do with that then if it is, eh? I mean, thanks, Shannon. Thank you for being a great friend. Snakes and frogs creep me out. Yeah. So like Kermit does? Does Kermit freak you out? Okay. So I think there was something else on here. What was this one? Oh, JLR. Oh, might as well watch this for a minute, eh? Let's see. I guess we gotta watch it from here. We'll watch it from here.
Yeah. Gloves in the bag.
Oh. Wait, gloves in the bag.
Delivery?
Take that for DNA. But then he took that glove off, but he had another glove probably underneath of it, eh? Whose mail is that? 925. Is that just someone grabbing their mail?
Came to retrieve mail.
Whose home was that mail from? Was that from Nancy's? Annie's?
Came out with some bags, but it looked like food bags.
Agents are now leaving Annie's house.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Trash bag and a brown bag.
Trash bag and a brown bag, folks.
Okay. So that was what else? What else we got going on? Okay, so that was that. That was JLR. What's this one? Deep dive. Nancy Guthrie. 4 hours ago, did a deep dive early back. That is Tommaso Sione's band. I say deep because nearly everything to do with Tommaso's social media is gone. Oh, so Jennifer Coffindaffer says, I say deep because nearly everything to do with Tommaso's. We'll just call him, just so we don't call him out. We're just gonna call him Tomato. Make it simple on us, right? We're just gonna say Tomato whenever we refer to Tommaso there. Okay, Tomato Tommaso. All right. Someone can get my mail. We have harmless ones in Ohio. I don't know. I don't like them. Suddenly, all of a sudden, after we see video, we have a glove and a ski mask. Yeah, like, right? Yeah, that's right. Whenever we're talking about AKA the T-Man, okay, we'll just call him like the tomato guy. Okay, that way we're just like not calling him out. We'll be like, tomato guy's guilty. That tomato guy did it, right? Mm-hmm. All right. Cassie, we have a lot. You're still on about the snakes, eh? Okay, 1 second here. What else we got going on Twitter? Fair use disclaimer. Is he getting harassed? Most go private, but he seems he wanted his footprint gone. I understand. Okay.
What
Now,
do they got?
let's
Got a
go.
bag.
Gonna go off of that one. And I'll pull the other one back up here. Twitter. Okay. So Jennifer Coffindaffer, ex-FBI. Nancy Guthrie update. FBI are combing the air, those outside the roadside or whatever, the area outside the roadside. Why? Because bad guys often ditch in this. Why do they have to use words like that? Why don't they just say something like, because that's where the bad guys ditch the objects or their, articles or whatever. But indicia, okay, of a crime. I guess I learned a word today. Probably didn't even say it right. Out of a crime, out the window as they are speeding away. I applaud Ali for doing the painstaking work correctly. Could there have been a tip? Perhaps, but I believe good old gumshoe detective work here. Let us see if the gloves prove relevant. It's after day 11 after all. If there's DNA, well, duh, obviously, okay. But anyways, there's a glove. Let me just show you that picture bigger. I don't know. I feel like that's planted too. It just looks like it's being held up, or that the glove is holding up the twig over there. It feels like, unless it's like, unless the guy is really stupid, the guy at the door. But it literally looks like it's like just standing up there with that plant. Anyways, day 11, ski mask we hear about, glove, you're right. I mean, whatever, right? As long as it leads to answers, but only a mile and a half. They keep searching around Annie's. Yeah, I mean, it's so weird. Can someone call OJ and then Hal and ask him about this? You're a funny girl, Cassie. Okay, you go. If the glove don't fit, you must have quit. Oh my God, that man was so guilty. And you know what? Honestly, and I don't know exactly what happens to people like him. Do you visit hell for like, an eternity, and then, but I don't know. I just can't imagine that there's a world where people do crimes and then the Lord is like, you're forgiven. We're just testing you guys down there on earth. You guys are just, you asked if you could be a murderer during this lifetime, so come back up home. I don't know. But anyways, everyone knows that OJ did it. Okay. I watched that trial and it was so pathetic. And it was a bunch of antics and bullshit. Somewhat like a lot of cases, to be honest with you. Okay. So I figure, well, let's just do these ones here. I don't need you. Which is the one I was going to watch here? Nope, that's not one. All right. Let's watch, which one? I'm just trying to decide. This one. How long is this one? Nope, we don't want to do that one. That was from the day before. This one, how long is this one? Let's see. That was a premiere. Okay. Okay. Finally, okay, I made a decision. We're going to go with this one next. Start. Share screen. Okay, this one says the 5. This was the strange thing about the purported ransom. Okay, let's listen to this. Oops, no, we don't want to watch that part. That was the premiere. Go back over here. Let's go. Okay, we'll start from here.
Twist on day 11 of the search for Nancy Guthrie. Investigators racing against the clock, and they returned to both Nancy and Annie Guthrie's homes this afternoon. 2 officials were seen leaving Annie's house with a bag in their hand, and they checked the mailbox as well. Now, every second counts as they try to track down this person you are seeing on the screen, caught on camera on Nancy Guthrie's porch the night she went missing. Last night, a person was detained for questioning, but has been released.
Poor Carla.
However, FBI Director Kash Patel says the Bureau is looking at multiple persons, plural, of interest.
I do believe we are looking at people who, as we say, are persons of interest. But as you know, with any investigation, you are a person of interest until you're either eliminated or you're actually found to be the culprit or the culprits involved. And that's the stage we're at right now.
Let's go to Alicia Acuna, who is on the ground in Tucson. Alicia.
Hi, Kaylee. The New York Post is now reporting that the FBI has found a black glove about 1.5 miles from Nancy Guthrie's home, and it was found in the shrubbery. There was a search today, and I'll get into that in just a moment. But for right now, I want to discuss a little of the activity that our cameras caught at Annie Guthrie's home. They were here for just a short period of time. There were a couple of hours ago, an unmarked SUV pulled up. 2 men walked inside. They were there for maybe 15 minutes. They appeared to be agents of some sort, but it's also possible they are part of the Guthrie private security. Our producer shouted questions, didn't get any answers, but one of the men carried out a couple of bags from the home, and the other was wearing latex gloves. We've reached out to the FBI for confirmation on whether this was part of the investigation or something else. Earlier today at Nancy Guthrie's home, this man drove up to the property and left some sort of signage with a sheriff's deputy. Interestingly, he told a local TV station he was a private investigator for the family. This is the first time we've heard of the Guthries hiring a private investigator. Also today, we have video of FBI agents who were out today in the area just to the north and surrounding streets of Nancy's house. The Bureau confirming in a statement this morning, numerous FBI agents were conducting an extensive search along multiple roadways in the Catalina foothills area related to the Nancy Guthrie investigation. Last night, law enforcement briefly detained a man in Rio Rico, Arizona, south of Tucson. Matt Finn reports the FBI tells Fox News Carlos Palazuelos was not pinpointed solely off of that footage of a person on Nancy Guthrie's Nest Cam. Kaylee, Palazuelos tells Fox News that the FBI took his phone, may still have it, so we will await updates on that as well. Kaylee?
Alicia, thank you. Let's bring in former NYPD inspector and current Fox News contributor Paul Morrow in Tucson. Paul, I'm looking at this New York Post reporting. Apparently, there's images, according to the New York Post, of these investigators pulling the glove, the black glove, which resembled that in the video, from the shrubbery. Curious, is this connected to that Catalina foothills search? And second, can they get DNA off this glove?
Well, if it is, in fact, one of the gloves that the perpetrator wore at the scenes, then, of course, this would be a very, very big break because of the possible DNA analysis that we've talked about, Kaylee. You and I have talked about it many times. It's the question I asked at the press conference, which was, will you use the IgG DNA? That is the DNA that is familial. And so you have a much, much greater shot of getting to somebody who is linked to your suspect, as opposed to a one-to-one hit, which is a very, very remote possibility. That said, the idea that they've only found one glove, it's pretty far from the scene, and the fact that somebody who was very clearly extremely cautious, he was robed up foot to head to make sure. In fact, I think he was had 2 hoods on just to make sure he didn't leave any DNA. He throws one glove out the window as he leaves the scene. It's a little bit much to believe at this point, but perps do crazy things that are inexplicable, and this would be a big, big break, and I'm sure it is related to that search.
Paul, thank you. One last question, and then we're going to broaden it out in the table here. There was some new reporting from Matt Finn that the look of the individual alone in the camera is not what led to the detainment of Carlos. I would have suspected that because they would have had to have a search warrant. Any indication as to what the other information was?
Not really. I'd heard that there is, potentially some digital stuff. This is what I'm reading into that. He's a delivery driver. And they asked him, in fact, Matt Finn asked him directly, have you delivered to the house in question? And he said something like, I very well might have. So if I had to guess, and I'm guessing, I would think that they did some sort of a digital search relative to either people who have delivered to that place or people who have maybe put it into a mapping service, one of the mapping apps, to see if they can find their way to it. And they might have got a hit on him. And so the confluence of those factors got them enough to get over the hump for the federal search warrant. But remember something else, too. In a ransom situation, a kidnapping, there's probable cause and then there's probable cause. And I would argue that in a pressured situation like this, where a woman's life is on the line, that bar comes down a bit. So we do have to bear that in mind. But it sounds like there was more than one factor. A couple of things likely came together. But as of now, He's not under arrest.
Dana, I'm looking at this picture of the glove at the New York Post, and we hope it's the perpetrator's glove, but we've seen what we thought was a detainment that led to nothing.
And it's also 11 days later. So, well, if that's the case, then they just found it. That would be kind of strange. But they haven't had bad weather either, so that might be the case. I would also ask this, Paul, can you help us make sense of these ransom notes that are going to TMZ? On Newsroom this morning, Harvey Levin said an hour and a half ago, we just got another one. But it was somebody who said that they know who the kidnappers are, but they're also asking for Bitcoin. And maybe that all rings true to some. And for me, I find it just a little bit hard to believe. But I wonder if you have a better sense of that.
No, I'm with you. The audience for this case is unfortunately global. And so you're talking about millions of people who are following this, and all you need is a few knuckleheads who want to pile on. The even first two that had the Bitcoin wallet, the first two emails, had the patina of a ransomware case to me. It's very similar to how the ransomware gangs operate from behind Russia, and they're impossible to get to. And the fact that they were just so completely unwilling to provide any signs of life, any images, something from inside the house that they saw, because the stuff that they did provide was very, very thin and potentially gleanable, I would argue, from media reports. So I lean against all of these letters until I'm shown otherwise. I don't know why they put the money into the account, maybe to just see if it works, maybe to see if it provided an alert to him. And so somehow or other, they could see a packet move to him that said, hey, there's money in the account, some deep dive thing that they did in the cyber world. I don't see how $300 would entice him to come forward and smoke him out. And there's also the possibility that it is bad guys, as I said, who are normally stealing identities and stuff, and they just went back to business as usual, and the $300 that's in the account is them selling identities because their attempt at this ripoff didn't work.
Jesse.
Paul, again, we're seeing investigators back at the sister's house, and we're seeing images of them taking things from the house. At this point, after a week and a half, what items could they possibly be taking away from Annie's house?
Yeah, it's a good question because they've been all over the place there. I actually lean towards it being investigators that have been hired by private security, that have been hired by the Guthrie family. Here's why. The information we've had on the scene here, they haven't been in that house in a good while now. And my information is that they are outside the city someplace, but not that far off. They don't want to show themselves. They don't want to come into town. They know all the media is out here. And so my read is that those are people who are they send people in to get supplies for them, and they, clothes and stuff. And they are being very cautious in wearing gloves and using plastic bags because they just want to make sure that there's no argument later that they in any way tainted something that could presumably become part of the case. Now, again, that's an assumption. I'm not sure about that. If that is still an evidence search team, strikes me that it was fairly casual. You send two people back, they go in, they're in there for not all that long, and then they come out with a couple of plastic bags. That's not really how you're gathering evidence. There are forms, there are envelopes that it goes in, that you seal it, it stays in there. You don't walk out casually swinging a plastic bag. So, I lean against it at this point, still being evidence collection. But anything's possible in this case. It's been very, very surprising.
Greg.
So, Paul, I want to revisit my strategy to solving this case, and that would be having the least likely suspect, Savannah Guthrie, offer to do a polygraph, which will then put necessary pressure on others inside and outside the circle to do the same. Since no one has been ruled out, it's one step forward in ruling in, and anybody who says no or bristles looks unusual. What do you say to that?
Well, my understanding as of now is that they haven't done anything relative to a polygraph. I'm not sure we would have necessarily have heard, but I think we would, the way things have been going out here. And as we all know, it's not admissible in court, but it can be a pointer. I said, look, I am surprised a little bit that we haven't heard to that kind of thinking, more in terms of a reward, to put pressure on somebody who is potentially around the perpetrators to come forward. And I understand what you're saying. If the one of the primary victims here says, okay, I'll volunteer to do this. Let's see what happens with others. I get that. You're trying to smoke people out that might be close to the situation. But I think a good way to smoke out people that are close to the situation is to offer a life-changing a reward. And I understand we don't want to incentivize people to kidnap in the future. Of course, I get that. But at this point, with an 84-year-old woman missing for a week and a half, I think you're at the point where you got to do something that's fairly extreme. So as far as Savannah doing that, obviously that's going to be her personal call. I don't know if they've discussed it. It may argue that inside the family, they are perfectly happy with the way things have gone in terms of the investigation. Obviously, they haven't gotten their mother. But I'm going to the idea that the family has been cooperative, and inside the family, they must feel that everybody is being forthright, and that's not where the investigation should go.
Kennedy. Paul, we heard a lot yesterday the phrase tickling the wire, which is a phrase that I am unfamiliar with, but apparently is very common in law enforcement lexicon. So we have this big break in terms of the picture, the images, the video that we saw yesterday. Did that tickle the wire? Was there a bombardment to the two phone numbers we have up on the screen constantly? And how do they sift through the information to actually find those persons of interest?
Yeah, so generally tickling the wire is used in the wiretap context. You have a wiretap that isn't really producing a whole heck of a lot, and you have an investigation ongoing, and you do something outside the wiretap to get the bad guys talking about what happened on the wire so that you can hear their reaction and you move the whole thing forward. And that you usually do that with an undercover or an informant who is under your control. In this case, it's a slightly different context. Tickling the wire here, I think the closest thing to that sort of analogy is what they did with the Bitcoin, assuming that that was, in fact, the FBI to put the $300 in. Like I said, I think they were probably hoping to tickle the Bitcoin wire, so to speak, to get him either reaching in for the paltry amount of money, or maybe, as I said, seeing an alert go out or seeing him log in to check if it's there or something like that, give them a data point to work with. And the other thing, of course, that could tickle the entire wire of the investigation writ large was the release of those videos. And they had to do that. And understand, that's not an easy decision to make. We've seen it in a number of cases recently, like Tyler Robinson. They didn't want to necessarily put out that video and alert him that, hey, we have images of you, whoever did this to Charlie Kirk. But they made the mature decision to say, yeah, people are going to say we couldn't solve it. The public solved it. Who cares? You put it out if it's going to end this thing. They made that decision in the Charlie Kirk case. They did the right thing here. They had good imagery. They put it out. Hopefully they can get more. There's an argument that what they did here, they're going to be able to continue to go forward with, do more of decoding of those code packets that ultimately produce video that they were able to recover from the cache in the Wi-Fi. And maybe you're going to get more from that camera. Maybe you could get audio. Nest cameras have audio. You could hear his voice. There's other cameras there. Maybe some of those other cameras are going to produce. We know at least one other camera alerted at some point after that camera. I'm sure they're scraping hard at that. This stuff's not easy. Google did it in 10 days. I'm sure they put their best foot forward, went at the thing that they thought was going to be most productive. But now I'm sure they're trying to get at other stuff. And so, yeah, and it may tickle the wire of somebody coming forward and saying, I see enough of that guy's walk, which is always very distinctive. That's what I'd be interested in. If we could get, even if he's all masked up, if we get 3 seconds of him really walking clearly, I think that there's a very good chance you're going to get somebody to say, I absolutely know who that is.
Let's hope we get that. Paul, thank you.
Click here to
click here, click here, click here. Steph is going to join me in a minute up top. But anyway, so I mean, I'll wait for probably Steffa to stop screen to get up here before I ask the question I was just about to ask. Share screen. Now this one, I think it was this one, Brian Entin. I'll just play Brian Entin's because his came out not long ago before I was going live on there.
At this show, this episode, they were back at Annie Guthrie's house. There were 2 law enforcement agents that showed up in a gray SUV. They went inside the house. They came outside the house with latex gloves on, and they were holding a brown bag. They were not in the house for long. And then they also went and got mail out of the mailbox, again, wearing the gloves, and then they left. So it was not like what we saw on Saturday night where they were there for 3 hours and we saw pictures being taken inside. That wasn't the case. It was quick. They went in, they had gloves on, they came out with a brown bag, and then they also checked the mail. So that is the latest development that happened at Annie's house. The FBI today is reporting that they are going to be doing ground searches along roadways in the Catalina foothills around where Nancy and Annie live. And when I was out at Annie's house yesterday and I saw the FBI going door to door, they asked one of the neighbors for permission to search. And then the neighbor said, well, what are you looking for? And they said something that may have been dropped, which makes me think when you look back at those pictures of the suspect, what he was wearing, the mask, the backpack, the gloves, all that, are they looking to see if something was maybe thrown out of a car window? Because we know today the search is specifically directed along roadways. So that's the latest from the FBI. Pima County Sheriff's Office says that there will be no updates today, no briefings unless there's a development, which kind of surprised me in light of what happened last night. You guys remember they had that person detained who has since been let go. I raced out an hour away from Tucson, very, very close to the Mexico border. I went like, I shouldn't say this.
1 second here. Yeah, I don't agree with that myself. But is there anybody else that thinks that male with the mustache and body of a man, it was right? Is a female? I know that somebody said that yesterday as well, but I really don't think that they would have arrested the Carlos guy, which is a man. I don't think it's a female. It's a man. Yeah, I mean, you can obviously think what you want on that one, but I think I definitely do not think that's a woman. Unless you're saying that they covered their face and then put on a little wee mustache as well and a goatee and stuff like that. I personally don't think it is myself, but hey, I mean, look at yesterday's shooting in BC here up in the Tumbler Ridge. Again, just prayers to that whole sad situation. Up in British, I'm from British Columbia. I'm from Vancouver though. And up in Tumbler Ridge, which is like 12 and a half hours. It's more near the Alberta border, close up there near Prince George area. Look at that. That ended up being a transgender. And you know what? To be honest with you, it's not shocking, so much mental health issues going on. Seeing it in the United States all the time. It's just sad. It's just really sad. But anyways, because, of course, it was reported that it was a woman. Then it comes out that it's a transgender. I don't think that the person at this thing is some transgender either. I think it's a man. And I clearly think that that's why Carlos was, because he wasn't sure if he had maybe possibly delivered a package in that area. I mean, everyone I'm sure was staring at his mustache on his face there. It's not a real man. Well, I think it's a real man, but hey, you know what? You have a small percentage of that being correct. I can't see a man grabbing those flowers to cover a camera. I think they're a hard man. Well, you know what? You probably just don't want to admit that it's a man that grabbed those flowers. Yeah, I'm not thinking it's a female though. No, I didn't. Come on. If you know Streamlabs, right? If you don't use your punctuation properly there, Spring Chicken, it's going to say that you're trying to post a link, right? So if you don't put a dot and then you don't space it right, Streamlabs is going to catch you on that one. But anyways, so that's why it will say that to you.
I was going like 100 miles an hour trying to get there when I got the tip that they had this person detained. There was a federal search warrant that was being executed at the house. The family members of the guy were like, there's no way he's involved in Nancy Guthrie. We don't know about the case. He wasn't out of town last weekend. He doesn't know anything about Bitcoin. And I talked to them, and come to find out a few hours later, he was released. He was detained and then released, and it appears he has nothing to do with the case, although we'll have to see. I mean, they must have had something in that search warrant to be able to go search the house and detain him. So I'll stay on top of that, try to figure out how all of that sorts out today. But again, I was hoping there'd be some kind of press briefing from the sheriff, and that doesn't appear like it's going to happen. I want to go to Kurt Dabb, who is was a longtime homicide detective here in Pima County, to help me break down these latest developments, especially what happened last night with this man being detained, and sort of what he thinks about where things are going to go from here. What do you make of what happened last night? I mean, we raced down to, near the Mexico border. They had him detained, and then now he walked out. What do you think happened there?
I don't know what leads specifically led them, to that individual. Extremely grateful for the technology that, the FBI has to recover some video. And
I'll put it on pause here. Let's see here. Wait, why are you over there? Oh, there you are. It lagged, must have lagged for a sec. Hey, Stuffa.
Word. Hey, I was expecting like some kind of introduction song, so if you could like play like Eye of the Tiger or something, that would be great.
Oh, then that's for Sebastian only.
Oh, that's right, it's a fashion song. We'll come up with something. How about I'm an Angel or something? Very, very Stephanie-like. Very Stephanie-like. What's up? I've missed you.
I know it's been a minute, hasn't it? Eh?
It sure has. I actually haven't been live in a long time.
Well, just quickly, just because most people, some people know who you are, obviously, but a lot of people wouldn't. So, Staffa, just give a briefing of yourself, if you don't mind, a little bit.
Oh, sure. So I am
psycho.
Yeah, psychotic a little bit. No, I'm just kidding. So I'm Sunny's BFF.
Right.
From Ohio. Oh, I just talked to myself, but that's fine. If you need my address, I'll put it in the chat. So I'm Steph, and I'm a YouTuber, kind of, sort of, well, on it a long time. But I did Delphi. That's how I met Sunny, because her Delphi coverage is phenomenal, and she'll do it again someday. I promise. Just kidding. So I am a nurse, and I do a lot of mental health for people. And one thing that I did a lot on this channel, besides entertainment, was a mental health and resources for people in the United States. So if you know anyone that, or yourself, you can always reach out to me from my channel, is my email. And you can I can help you get resources, whether it be for medical issues, mental health issues. That's what I do. With a smile, with a big smile. Yes, Cassie's a little south of me, so we are neighbors.
Yeah. Cassie's the one that's sassy.
Yes, love her. Love her.
Yeah. So Steph, we covered Delphi. Steph, she was a tree expert as well.
Oh yes. My husband Ron and I.
Yeah.
Yes. So I swing a lot from the trees. Does Ben come around here anymore? Oh
yeah. Well, Ben started a new job, so Ben said, "Sonny, I'm not going to be here as much." So I know that you're always fighting me because my husband, he's like, "Don't let that stuff get at Ben," right? Because Ben is my online husband, and Steph is always flirting with him all the time. And
well, I'm divorcing Ben.
Good, thanks.
Yeah, I'm divorcing Ben. Yep, I'm done with Ben because he got a new job, and
so, not good enough for him anymore.
He's not good enough for him anymore. I like him broke and no job, and Ben wants to get a job now, so he's not my type.
Well, I'll tell you, when I was asking for a link the other day, I was just like, "Where's my Ben? Where's Ben? 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 Ben?" The whole thing with Ben was you guys he never asked to be a mod. I made him a mod one day, and I made him keep the wrench because every time I needed something, I'd always give Ben a mod wrench, and then I'd take it back, right? Because he never wanted to be one. But Ben was always so quick with links. He always had my back with links, and so that one day I just forced him to have it, and I was like, I ain't taking it back. But anyways, so Ben's a mod
He's
in
great.
here, but again, yeah,
And
yeah.
he's good at it too. Like I
I
have a
know.
wrench, but I'm just not a good mod. But I'm a good mod as far as
You're
being
not
a support
you're not
for you.
really a good friend either because you're always hitting on him when he was in here. It's like
No,
you
I think
made you sleep.
well, I think I hit on him when he said he's from Australia. I'm like, oh, Ben, you're the perfect husband for me. You're in
Yeah.
Australia. Yes, I don't have to worry about seeing you.
Yeah. Now, okay. Now,
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, to the case.
no. On this more serious note here of this. Okay.
Yes.
Tell me, just what? We haven't talked in a while again. So tell me what's going through your mind and your thoughts on this.
On Delphi or this?
No, not Delphi. No, not Delphi.
Okay.
On this case. This case.
Oh, this case. Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if we were talking Delphi tonight or
No,
not.
Delphi. No, I don't even hardly ever talk about Delphi ever. Too
What?
much.
I didn't know that about you.
Yeah, no. I did my Delphi.
I'm just giving you shit,
Years
girl.
of it over Delphi. Abby and Libby, I feel, got their justice with Richard Allen being arrested. And as for me, so I'm satisfied with that. But yeah, that was anyways, this case, Nancy Guthrie. Tell me your thoughts.
Okay, so I have changed because let me ask you this.
No.
Okay, how much deep dive have you done? Like, are we doing some surface level stuff or are you going deep now?
I haven't gone deep, no.
Okay. So what about the chat? I guess we should kind of ask the chat because when you listen to it, let me ask you this. Okay. Are you like, what's happening? Okay. They take this lovely woman, they take her from her home, and 2 days later they ask for a ransom? Like, who's ever heard of that? Is that what you're thinking? Right? And
doesn't make sense.
yeah, it doesn't make sense. Then they're like, okay, we want $4 million. But hey, if you didn't get it in, like we'll do a late, we'll take it late, but there'll be a late charge. I mean, it's like, what? It makes no sense, right? So then, and then ICAC shows up, the Internet Children Against, or what is it? Internet Crimes Against Children. They show up to Annie's house. Like, that didn't make any sense. And then how does this? Then the ransom notes are going to TMZ. And okay, have you ever? First of all, this is the first case I've had that's a ransom. What about you?
Say that again.
This is the first case I've had that's been a ransom.
Yeah, same. And just quickly, Cassie says, did the first ransom note go to the family? No ransom note went to the family. So K Volt and K Gun and TMZ. So TMZ no
first.
Pardon?
I think TMZ got the first.
Was TMZ the first?
I thought they were the first, and then the local station got the second. But I could be wrong.
Yes, I think you're right. They got the second one. TMZ got the first one. And then went to like the other two outlets. They're the second one. Because I remember Harvey making a comment about the second one and not knowing what was in there, like only by what he got. Right. Mm-hmm.
Right. Then they make this arrest of this random guy in LA. Right. But then it was very, very strange. Okay. So then.
Yeah.
I've been watching JLR out front of, and everybody's been like, oh, yeah, I think he's made a lot of changes. And I think he's been very nice to let everybody stream off of him. That's just my opinion. Whether you like JLR or not, I just think that he's done a lot of changes in the past couple of years.
like I said, I think JLR has made himself a legit way of earning money. He definitely has a past. He knows that anyone that has watched JLR, if they know the story, if they don't, you can just go watch his videos or look him up or whatever. But, you know, to me, he's found his, niche or whatever niche. And he's making, look at, honestly, he probably made about freaking $5,000 last night in super chats going off as I was watching it. And because his streams have been like 11 hours and stuff like that. He loves doing he loves doing this, you can tell. But now, in saying that, what happened to Magnolia?
I don't know. But people in the chats, I gotta say this stuff in the chat, and because I have a weird sense of humor, some of the things in chats were inappropriate but really funny. And so people were saying things like, where's the what did you do to Magnolia? Or, like Magnolia's been kidnapped now and all these things because no one has seen her because somebody said she's dating someone else. Of course, people are just being
who knows
funny in the chat, not literally that any of these things were going on. But I think I don't know if they broke up or what, but he didn't say anything.
He definitely again, I freaking hate con artists, people that take advantage of others. But what I do like, and this is just my own personal opinion, what I do like is when people can turn themselves around, or make changes. So he found himself this little, niche in the true crime now. Again, he kind of skyrocketed in the Calvaconte case from 30K to over 100K subscribers because of boots on the ground. I love boots on the ground. My husband actually just keeps saying to me, he hates that word. And I'm like, why do you hate it? My husband's British, by the way. But I'm like, why do you hate it? He says,
British.
He goes, because it makes, when you say boots on the ground, it makes it seem like almost like that they have egos, like they're like they're doing the hard work, boots on the ground. I'm like, well, people that do boots on the ground, they're literally there, like JLR, traveling everywhere. Granted, of course, it's like he's looking at it like a job in certain ways, right? Meaning it's a money maker for him.
But he's working hard.
But he's also like, do you know what? He's loving what he's doing. So that's like, so for someone that's making money legitly and loving what they're doing, that's what better thing could you ask to be doing then? Yep. Because it's not like he hates what he's doing and then trying to get money off people. And it's not like he actually asks people for money.
Oh no.
It's not like he's one of those YouTubers that's like, freaking, join the train and, and stuff like that. He actually isn't that person that's actually asking people, right?
He's not grifting.
Donations. Yeah. So people are appreciating. I just like people that do make changes in their life, to become a better person. But that's just, like I said, that's just my personal opinion. Whatever somebody wants to do with their selves or their life, and that is up to them. But I truly appreciate boots on the ground. I love the fact that JLR lets people stream his own lives, because again, the more people, and I have the same thing, the more people that you let use your channel, the more people that get to know about your channel. And not only that, but this is, to me, I live in an unselfish world of why wouldn't I let people use the content? We're in a true crime community, so for me, that's how I see it, right? It's just about, like I said, I'm not sitting here trying to go, oh, I'm going to copyright this and I'm going to copyright claim you because you're using my content. I don't care. Use it. If there's something valuable to you that you want to show, which happens all the time, especially in the Jack and Lily Sullivan case, then use it, right?
Hey,
if I have information that other people can share on their channel, go ahead.
Yeah, I need to clip that because I'm going to steal some content of yours.
Yeah. But as long as you give them credit, right? As long as you JLR, post the description. Yeah, and stuff. Exactly. Right. But anyway, so I love the fact that there's people out there that do boots on the ground, and that while the news media isn't, like Fox News, they're putting out clips every 10 minutes, like little bits and stuff like that. But you know what? When they're not covering and stuff like that, I like boots on the ground live. I like to know that the action and let me just finish this. The
I'm so
reason
sorry.
no. The reason, Steffa, that yesterday that we actually got to like meaning when I was watching JLR live last night, right? This is in the wee hours of the morning. Um, it's because of him that I was actually watching live them interviewing that Carlos guy that they detained and released, right? But the news, they're there, sure. But it's not like they're live, like most of them aren't live. They'll put out a recording later. Whereas with JLR, I'm just literally watching it as he's showing it, you know? So appreciate that.
So yesterday, we're like, because he's alive. So I'm like watching him. We go to the FBI building, and then we go to the
I know.
hospital. Were you watching that?
Yeah, and then he had to go renew his vehicle.
Yeah, watch that. But
Yeah.
we watched the FBI go house to house. So then the people that when the FBI would leave the house, he would ask the people questions. He'd straight up and say, "Well, what did the FBI say? What did they want?"
Yeah.
And I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like JR's earning his keep. I mean, he's getting paid. He's doing the work in the heat.
Yeah.
And so then people would be like, "Get to Annie's house. There's word that there's something happening there." So he won to Annie's house. So it was good stuff. But they found the glove. He got video of that. Not
right.
That so
Not a
that's
picture.
or a glove. I don't know if it is an important glove,
Right.
like AJ glove, but
Yeah. But okay, but going back to the ransom notes.
Okay,
right?
yes.
Okay, but going back there, so I'm at the point where I actually don't, I keep flip-flopping like a fish because of this weird wacko bizarre case going on. 1 minute I'm thinking that the ransom notes are that one is tied or meaning that, but then you look at Doofus in front there waving flowers or whatever. Some people are saying that it's a sheep, but I still don't. But either way, goes and picks flowers, and I'm thinking, no, I don't know that there's any. I think that it's the more I keep, even though I'm flip-flopping, I think like a lot of other people, I don't think that the ransom is tied. I think it's just a bunch of siphoning leeches trying to get money out of a bad situation. Because when I see someone like this in front of the door doing that, I'm thinking, no, there's no way. There's no way that these smart hackers, could be, if it's a few people, you got, but sorry, but the more I think about it, the more I just don't feel like that there's much going to come out of this whole ransom thing because A, 2 days later, B, if you want that type of money, you're going to show proof of life. You're like, honestly, if you're in it just for the money, which, right, if you are truly, and you're just truly a con artist that just wants their money, or that you truly have Nancy and you want this money, shit, I'm going to show you her face for 1 minute on camera, something to proof of life, after the fact. And then you want that money. And if you're so smart that you think you can get it through the chains of Bitcoin down deep under and that you're not going to get caught, hey, but a person that's truly doing a ransom and that they just want the money, right? They're going to show you a proof of life. But this to me is that sick game of that this is our demand, but we'll return her to you 12 hours after we receive the Bitcoin money. No, have a cup of go fuck yourself. Seriously. Because so that just to me says that this is just a big con from the ransom side of it. And that you see Doofus there in front of that camera, right? And so I kind of think that the two are kind of disconnected, to be honest with you. I don't know. That's kind of where I'm at again. What about you?
Well, I was that way.
Girl.
Until. But if I say it all right now, like the show's over.
Well, no, yeah, you're right. Just say it and I'll send it.
So that's why I'm like, okay, so let's go back. So we have the first ransom, right? Okay, chat, are you listening? Where's the chat? They're not talking. Now I'm turning into Gray Hughes.
right.
Is anybody there? Because if you're not there, I'll just, unless you're sending money and right now and super chats and you're not talking in the chat, you're going to have to leave. Just kidding. Or I'm going to hang up. No, or whatever he says. Okay. Yes, send money and talk in chat or the night is over. Thank you, Cassie. Cassie's still here. Okay, Cassie, I'm going to need a $600 donation, or I'm sorry, $4 million donation.
Yeah.
It would be a $4 million donation.
You guys want us to keep this live with barely 40 viewers in it?
Yes.
You better pay up that $6 million right now.
Yes. Sonny's got bills to pay today, all right? Car payments too.
Yeah, the job's just not working out. Yeah. But anyway, so go on. The first ransom note.
So there's a ransom note. Okay. Let me get my notes out. I got notes, girl. I got notes. I've just been taking notes.
Sound like Jamie now. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so we got a triangle. We got Nancy's house. We got Annie's house. Annie and Thomas the Train. And
we call him Tomato.
Yep. Tomato, Thomas Train, whatever. And then we have Circle K. Circle K, right? Don't forget Circle K. I think it plays into a big piece, right? We just didn't know. That's what we got. And now we got some pictures. Which actually, those pictures I watched. Did you see them where they turned them color? They turned them into color a little bit on. I watched it on what's his name's show, Duty Ron. He was able to make them color, which was kind of cool.
Made what in color?
Turned some of the video so you could see the perpetrator video. So it wasn't in black and white; it was in color.
Why didn't you say that? Hey, Sonny, I saw your live. Well, hold on. Shit, I actually. You're right, because I played my video and I put it in color.
You did?
Yeah. But the thing was, you guys, I ended up deleting that live last night. I just wasn't happy with it. You know, I just all in all, I wasn't happy with it. I usually don't do that, but I was thinking, there's so many parts of it that I wasn't happy with. And whenever I feel conflicted, I just deleted it. So I took down the live from yesterday I deleted it actually. At first I made it private. Then I was like, fuck it, took it down. Yeah, I have to be happy with the live, right? But yesterday I feel like there was just many different things in it. But anyway, so that's when I had mine up. So go ahead and talk.
So you should have totally put it up because then people could see what I'm talking about because you can really see like a real person. I mean, like you can see like the features because like if you did like you used to do on the Bridge Guy and you do your little thing because you're amazing at doing like getting close-ups and all of that, like that is your thing.
Yeah.
Spots, you can like really see like his eyes, his face when he turns, like his mask turns to the side. It was pretty amazing. So anyway, that is your thing. Whether what happened in that case or whatever doesn't matter because you did kick, or okay. So now we got a triangle. We got what I think. You want me to keep going? Because I will. All right.
Well, I was gonna say I don't know who's more unfocused. Is it me or you?
Oh, I always have ADHD. You know that.
Did you got the Circle K? I know. So you said that. So you believe? Okay. So I don't believe that the Circle K means anything myself.
Well, go on. All right. So, if law enforcement they can track these crypto, is the IP address. On crypto when they go to pull the funds out. So if I sent you crypto, they're not going to be able to get the transaction of me sending it to you. But when you go to use it, then they'll be able to get that transaction, right? So, and what's law enforcement going to do? From a law enforcement perspective, they say, hey, before I go and send you $4 million, let's do a smaller transaction like $500,000 or $1,000, something like that. So I know that your wallet even accepts the money. So, what happens? is it a coincidence that the ATM around the corner from Annie's house at the Circle K happens to accept Bitcoin? I don't know. So then at the same time, they get the FBI rate or goes over to the Circle K, and at once they're able to pull the IP address. So from wherever the transaction happens, they are able to pull the IP address from Bitcoin where they're pulling money out. So there happens to be an ATM inside that Circle K where, and I got that from, what's his name? Chris McDonough. That's where I got that information. So they're able to pull that address. So they're able to get, the FBI is able to get that on camera, who's doing that. And then what are the odds that the guy in LA, there's an affidavit from when they arrested the guy in LA that put the $4 million, that sent the original ransom. He on the affidavit, there's in the affidavit we can pull up. He had sent a text to Annie and Tomato that said, let me get the exact quote. Did you get the Bitcoin? We are waiting for our transaction. He sent that to their phones. And then he called them for 9 seconds. That's in the affidavit. So
that's in the affidavit?
That's the affidavit from the guy from LA that got arrested.
Oh, yeah, but that was the loser that got arrested, though. That guy was just a con.
But he called Annie and Tomato's phone and sent them a text.
Yeah, but in saying that, what about it? Because, I mean...
Let me read it again. It says, did you get the Bitcoin?
Right.
We are waiting for our transaction.
Right.
At the same time, the Circle K is getting the Bitcoin money. You see? They're pulling their money out of Bitcoin at the same time that this
person, say Circle K.
Yes. So, and then what are the chances that afterwards, guess who shows up at Annie's house? ICAC.
Okay.
Right. Yes. So I don't know if everybody in chat knows who that is, but that's the children, the internet children or internet.
Right. Children's.
Yeah. Crimes against children. So law enforcement already had their phones. So they knew what calls were coming in, texts were coming in, all of that already. So any burner phones or anything, ICAC would be able to get those. So they brought that ICAC technology into the house. So now they have even more information. Now they have more information because they brought that little suitcase thing that goes in there. So anything it's no longer device to device, like you're no longer pulling a laptop, no longer pulling a phone. Now they're taking that entire like suitcase thing into their house. So anything that has been in that IP address is now downloaded into that little suitcase looking thing. That's why ICAC went in there. Then the next day that's when the FBI or I think maybe it was the sheriff's office went in, and that's where we saw all of the photographs when they came in there and started doing photographs.
Right.
So that is my opinion, and I don't think that the ransom had to do. I think that the money, in my opinion, that's how it was going around. I don't think that there was that they were that's why they weren't sending anything to show that she was alive or dead or anything like that. I don't think that was ever the intention.
So what do you think the intention is?
I think that it was about, I think that, this was the other piece, that allegedly, information I'm getting from, Chris McDonough, where he, because he's got his inside people.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That Nancy had done 4 or 5 refinances on the house. So she had no equity in that house. Well, who needed money? She didn't need money. Her son and Savannah didn't need money. Cameron didn't need money.
I feel like, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like that Annie and her husband were leeches off, always like wanting money or getting help.
And if I have 2 ways of thinking, did Nancy find out about any crimes against children? Or did the crimes against children, well, like Chris was saying, he said, you don't know how many homicides I worked. And then I would find, that kind of stuff where I'd have to call in ICAC, or I would find, stuff where robberies would have found evidence that had occurred. So then I'd have, bank robberies. And so then I have to call in the FBI so they could do their thing. So he's like, it happens all the time where you end up getting to one crime scene and then finding all kinds of different crimes that are going to require other different departments or agencies that are going to have to be involved. He said that is not unusual at all. So it makes me wonder, how it all came together. I don't know if they were needing money. Apparently, I think that Thomas the Train owed money to whatever group LA Man was from, because he said, we are waiting for our transaction. So I think that was where the we part came in. I think that had to do with a group, like he owed them money. And I think that it seemed like they were going to pay. Remember, it seemed like
right, yeah,
pay money. And then the next day it was like, then it was somber, like she's gone. And then all of a sudden Thomas the Train was gone. I mean, he was out of the picture. But it's very strange that these text messages went to Annie as well. So I don't know. But that is my theory. Or,
well, there's the side of me that thinks that Tomato there, is wrapped around in all of this. But by the same token, we keep hearing like basically that there's nothing to even like that, basically that they were allowed to go into the home, like meaning they didn't use a warrant or didn't get a warrant to search, because they were like, like, come on in, do your shit, take your pictures and whatever. But yet in the back of my head, I keep, for some reason, and again, it could be wrong, but I don't know. There's something this reeks of a money thing, whether it's from Tomato ass there or not. And then you got this doofass in front of the frick. Like, look at that. I mean, like, seriously, how can you even take this seriously, but for the fact that Nancy Guthrie's missing? And let me ask you this, actually, just because, before I forget. So you're going to abduct somebody, and what's the point of the backpack? Like, seriously, like, are you gonna set up camp in there?
Kill cat.
Like,
what is what I've heard what I've heard professionals say.
A what? A kill kit?
A kill kit.
I'm thinking more of fucking, he got some cleaners in there, some shit to clean up anything, wipe off DNA. I don't know.
Why was he
Because
in there for 40 minutes? That's what I want to know.
right, 41.
What are you doing in there for 40 minutes? And
Right.
And the thing was about I didn't understand what the leaves were for. Well, what was weird about it is they wondered why there was debris, which we now know were these leaves, with the blood, and why the blood was only in that one spot. Like, would they do like put a bag around her bleeding area?
That's just it, right? You know, I saw someone on Chris. Okay, so I said that already, and it doesn't matter, but because other people are going to think that, and the reason is because Brian Entin said it. So when someone said, I think it was Chris McDonough, like, that's a really great question, and I'm like, honestly, it's 2 + 2. Anyone that listened to Brian Entin say that the blood was only in that spot, why did it just stop? What, like, it's one of those things. Why would you go out front and then the blood just stop after that particular point, and that there's no other blood droplets? Oh, according to what Brian Entin was saying. Okay,
and we don't know what's inside either,
right?
Because
right.
what if he took her back in and put something on her? I don't know where the blood. Of course, I mean, she is old, so she already gets skin tears super easy. And then, I mean, they get skin tears just from their sheets. So, and she's on a blood thinner, so that even makes it even more. So I mean, she could have just gone back in, but I don't know if I saw it. Did it go back up into the steps into the house? I don't remember. I don't know.
Like, and I don't know, like, Annette, because you said that you found more blood on the driveway. Maybe. I just remember when Brian Entin was reporting, and then Chris McDonough made a comment about that, and then someone said, "Oh, that was a really good question. Didn't think of that." And I'm like, "What do you mean you didn't think of that?" I mean, because when Brian Entin had gone up there, he had said there was no other blood. It was just in there. I mean, I think blood would be kind of obvious since those droplets were obvious. Like, it's basically when I put that into Gemini AI, it basically said that either the person was being carried, and that's why the droplets are the way that they look, or that they were like straight up and down, basically, or and I'm like, because obviously the droplets, Gemini AI is good for certain things. I just plunk it in there, I uploaded the picture, and I said, tell me about this picture and the blood in this picture, and then it would say, like, okay, so either the person was being carried because it was a downward motion, of how the droplets land, right?
Right.
Type of thing, or else the person was, like, straight up and down. It was weird. It's just all weird, and this happens in every case too, right? So, for instance, Annette says that they found more blood in the driveway. And now, was that on, besides shows, I only have, when it comes to stuff like that, about, like, the stuff after that, I don't want to hear it from, like, someone like myself. I want to hear it from an actual news, someone that's showing the source of it, or that it came from a source, not because it came from, like, say, a YouTuber. I want to hear that someone with knowledgeable information in the case. Support with Steph had dropped on me. Add to stage. There you are. So I haven't personally heard that, but that doesn't mean it's not true. And I'm not sure what she says about that, about the blue shirt. I didn't know about. I mean, I'm sure there's plenty of things that I haven't heard of. I try to keep up with as much as I can, but it starts getting the water start getting muddied the more that the case goes on.
What was the blue shirt? I dropped out, so
I'm not sure what Annette meant by that. I didn't know about a blue shirt.
Second person that
Okay, thanks,
showed
Annette.
looks like blood drops. Also found blue shirt on.
Also found blue t-shirt, all on February. Okay, second person that showed to what looks like blood drops also found blue shirt. I'll let you know if I can find out. Okay. Shannon, I don't even know what you're talking about.
I don't either.
Yeah. Second person that showed to what looks like blood drops. Also found blue t-shirt. No idea.
I don't know about the blue t-shirt. Where was the blue t-shirt found? Why don't I know about this? Like I was probably looking at the house on February 3rd. Well, JLR was there. I was looking at it because I had it up on my TV on mute since he got there. One morning I woke up at 5 o'clock in the morning because like I just woke up and he was there. I'm like, JLR, like did you leave and get a hotel or did you just stay there?
Yeah. Yeah.
If it was 5 here, and it was like 3 a.m. A blue LL Bean or LL Bean shirt by the steps to the left. Wait a minute. So, why would they find a t-shirt on the 3rd when Ellie had already been there? Although, did you see that they had forgotten to grab a surveillance camera? That this is the worst shit job. I mean, not as bad as Delphi, but they did a terrible job. And this goes to trial. I'd hate to be the officers that have to go in front of a defense attorney because that defense attorney is going to eat their. Am I allowed to cuss today? They're ours. I didn't know if this was an over 18 chat. Hello?
I muted myself.
Oh.
My bad.
Am I allowed to cuss today?
Yes, you're allowed to cuss today.
Oh, thank you.
You can drop an F-bomb. Feel free.
Oh, I'm not. I have been watching myself. I've been a good girl, pretty good, but I've been. But
well, is this the blue shirt right here?
It's him. Damn it! It was the guy. He's the retired detective from. He even said that the sheriff was. He worked for the department. That guy, and he was a former detective, and he said that the sheriff was less than par, and that most of the staff, like the patrol officers, were less than like 2 to 3 years on staff, and that the detectives were like 5 years. So
basically, he was saying like a lot of them are just rooks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, come on. You shouldn't have to go back to you don't release a crime scene, especially of this magnitude, and then be like,
oh my God.
Hold up. Just kidding. We got to go back.
This is one of those ones where it's definitely pie in, Sheriff Nano's face. For hindsight is 20/20 to him, and he like he, I said, took a hit.
I didn't see him at the crime scene. Like he didn't, like when they were going back, like you want to show as a leader, and I'm just saying, just from my day, when I was doing leadership, that one day. No, I'm just kidding. No, I was actually, in leadership for a long time, and I would think about when I went to do something, like I got to show whether I was involved in something or not. I needed to show my presence to show that, I was there to support my team and, all these things. And if I had something of this magnitude, I mean, I can't even imagine. And I sure as heck wouldn't be like showing the public. I know that he had every right to go to a basketball game, like to chill out or whatever, but you want your constituents to think, boy, you want to present that you're working 24/7. You may not be, and you do need a break, but you want to present that to the public. I mean, and now you see why, because it looks terrible.
I know. And people are quick to judge. Stefan, let me play a little bit of this and then we'll talk about it.
Yeah. Okay.
I haven't listened to it besides what I played a little bit of, but they kind of start talking about Nanos a bit, but let me play a little bit of it. And then we'll come back and talk about some of it. I won't play it. It's like I think I played how much have I played of it so far? Not very much. Let's see here. 3 minutes. Oh, it's a 40-minute clip. So I've only played basically 4 minutes. But we'll just play a bit and then talk about it, okay?
Okay.
All right. But I do have to go pee. I gotta go
Yeah,
give the toilet a drink. But
yeah,
I
go
can
do
still
your
hear.
thing.
Okay, but I'll play it. Yeah.
Okay. See through.
That they have other video that they're holding back. Yeah, it was a complete surprise to me. I saw the detention last night. I went to bed and woke up this morning and praying, that it was the suspect, and then, that individual was released. So what, often happens in homicide investigations, you have to follow leads as they come in. Earlier in our other interview, I spoke about you have to start working that circle outwards, right? And I mentioned Uber drivers, delivery drivers. So I'm guessing that's what that individual was. I listened to his interview. He may or may not have delivered a package in that area. So it's good to see that they're following up on the investigation, on the leads. And with a situation like this, you know that the bad guy was armed because you saw it on the camera. So we, and law enforcement, we formally, but they have to take precautions. So it didn't surprise me the amount of individuals and the type of units that they use for this detention. But that's what happens. Leads are going to pan out and they're not going to pan out. So you have to suss everyone out.
In your experience, they did a search warrant at the house. They had him detained. They got him at a traffic stop. They took him back to headquarters. Would that have indicated that they thought they had something significant? I mean, you don't just do that to every other Uber driver, right?
Yeah, no, you're not just gonna detain somebody and transport them back somewhere. But again, they were following up on a lead, and I think we can extrapolate from what's been going on that he was a delivery driver. He may or may not have been in that area. I'm assuming he probably was. They're just not. I used to tell bad guys this all the time. Look, I didn't just pick your name out of a phone book randomly, right? So he was a delivery driver, was in the neighborhood, and they were following up on the lead on a potentially armed and dangerous individual.
What's your sense on where things stand now? Because I don't know, one of my buddies in the FBI was saying we don't ever, and he's not involved in this case, but he was saying we don't like to release photos. Like if the FBI is releasing photos, it means that they actually need help.
Yeah. It's the same way with the sheriff's department. If we're tracking, a suspect, you can look at it either way, right? You can put, if you have a suspect and you have a photograph, you're more than likely going to have eyes on that individual, meaning you're going to be surveilling him. And a lot of times they'll release something in the media to garner an action out of the individual that they're looking for. Whether or not that was the case last night, I'm not sure. But, that's what it is.
Do you think, because he was pulled over not far from where he lived,
okay.
I found out when I was out there, do you think that means that he was under surveillance? Like, would you think they had eyes on him before this and then something happened where they decided, let's get him?
I'm assuming so, yes. Because just because you have a named individual that you're looking into, and again, this person at that time was an investigative lead. So you can't just out of the blue decide to go drive somewhere and hope that the individual is going to be where you think they're going to be. So I would assume that they had some type of surveillance. I understand the FBI brought in a bunch more people yesterday or the day before. Maybe it was FBI information that they were acting on, contacted the sheriff's department, said, hey, let's roll. I don't know if that's what the case was, but it possibly could be.
Do you think that there could be other people under surveillance right now? What does your gut tell you?
I would hope so, but that's, just my guess. Like, everybody has theories about what's going on, and theories are like, everyone has one. So your theory is as good as mine, and I'm just hoping that, I'm hoping they have information that they haven't released yet that they're utilizing to further the investigation, whether it's surveillance, whether it's like yesterday walking around, picking up or doing an article search. That's what they were doing. They were looking for an article of something that maybe the kidnapper had discarded. So
we were told last night out there that the sheriff had been there. He was gone by the time we got there.
Been
to the place where they Rio Rico. Yeah, Rio Rico. Is that significant? I mean,
no, and I'm sorry that I laughed, but when you're a detective working a case or you're an officer working a case, the last thing that you want is to have the sheriff show up at any case, and especially a homicide, because media is always involved. And we're trying to conduct an investigation that is done by the book, step by step. And when you have the sheriff, come out there, that causes a lot of duress on the detectives, and officers and deputies that are investigating. So I think it's a little bit weird, but he's the sheriff. He can, show up wherever he wants.
The search that we saw yesterday near Annie's house, like all the FBI agents going in the yards, and then they just put out another release, the FBI did, that they're going to be searching along roadways in this area. What does that indicate? Or does it indicate anything?
That's what they're doing an article search. So what they're trying to prove or disprove, confirm or disprove, is that the individual may have discarded a pair of gloves as they're driving away, right? You can picture someone driving away and discarding clothing. I mean, that individual looked like to me, it looked like he had a couple of jackets on. It definitely appeared that he had more than one pair of latex gloves, which leads me to believe that he was extremely careful in concealing his DNA. So what they're doing with the article search is walking up and down the roadway, probably 50 feet on either side of the roadway, just to see if there's anything in there. What struck me was that they were doing it back in Nancy and or Annie and Tommaso's neighborhood. It was like right after the video came out, then next thing you know, there's 25, 50 law enforcement officials doing an article search. So I was curious what prompted that.
It may be not a coincidence.
It might not be. But again, I had mentioned the brother-in-law before. Again, it's that inner circle. You have to prove or disprove. And as the sheriff said, the last press conference nearly a week ago, everybody is a suspect. So I don't know. I don't know if they had any information to cause them to go back there.
Are you surprised we haven't seen the sheriff in
I'm surprised that
there was
not a press conference last night or this morning by the sheriff, because he said on Facebook or on the sheriff's webpage, if there are any significant activities, or we're not going to have a press conference, so there's significant activity. Well, I think last night was a significant amount of activity.
Do you think that's an indication the FBI is in control?
Whether or not they're in control, I don't know. Is it an indicator of them being in control? You could say yes, but you could also say no, because realistically, that this is not an FBI case. We don't have any proof that this alleged kidnapping crossed state lines, which would, in fact, turn it into a federal case. So as far as I know right now, the sheriff's department is running the investigation, but those 3 letters do hold some weight, so it's possible.
In your experience working cases, I mean, we're 11 days in. What does that mean? What does this window mean? Does it get more difficult? Is it not a good sign that it's been really almost 2 weeks now?
Yeah, well, I was having a conversation yesterday about this very thing. As the days progress, you're going to run out of leads unless stuff keeps coming in. So with the release of that video, obviously it's going to generate leads for, the next couple of days. And if they release something else, even further out. But absent any new leads, look, the sheriff's department, we have a county that's bigger than, 3 or 4 states. You can't keep everybody focused on that investigation. So initially it was a lot of individuals involved from different units within the sheriff's department, different detective units, patrol units, a lot of people working overtime, but you can't do that in perpetuity. You have to shrink the amount of manpower, and that's going to be based on the amount of leads. So once that manpower gets, keeps shrinking, and it's basically down to just the homicide unit, that's when cases go cold.
Well, maybe with the FBI sending more people in, that'll help
maybe
sort of alleviate that.
Maybe, but again, it's not their case. It's not their investigation yet. They can't just come in like the movies and, take over a case. They have to have jurisdiction. And as far as I know right now, they don't have any jurisdiction. I'm extremely grateful, and I'm sure the family is as well, and all of America, that the FBI is assisting with the technological aspects, because they're able to do things that we can't even fathom. So I hope that they're continuing with the videos. I would like to see more video. If they have a clear picture, put it out, because that's going to generate leads. Because once the leads stop coming in, the task force is going to shrink, and the case is going to go cold. So by releasing more information is the only way to keep the case going.
And just lastly, Kash Patel said last night that he used plural, like multiple people that they're looking at, which I guess we go back to what you said, that there's probably different avenues.
Yeah, look, like I said, you start in that inner circle. You start with the family, you start with any caregivers. Did they have any work done on the house? The Uber driver, how many Uber drivers? So there's a lot of people that they can interview. I think they've done a pretty good job of canvassing the neighborhoods. If someone in the neighborhood would have seen something, I'm sure by now, they would have said something.
And one other thing I thought of, a lot of people have been asking me, they're like, are people scared in Tucson? Are people in the neighborhood scared? And it's been my kind of feeling that they're not, which is kind of interesting.
I don't think anybody's scared, up here. This is not something that occurs all the time. I don't think that there's any concern for the general public based on this one individual case. It appears that it's isolated. the idiot that was at the door walking up. I mean, he looked like a buffoon. I know previously, I said this is I think a professional deal, and it still may be, but that individual that walked up to the door and tried to cover the camera, he was completely unprepared, but he was extremely comfortable. He wasn't looking around, he was extremely comfortable being there, almost like he knew that there was nothing to worry about.
Yeah, that's a good point. He wasn't darting around and looking behind a million times to see if anyone was driving by.
Yeah, and it wasn't like a normal home invasion where, guys, multiple individuals are coming to a door with guns and, kicking doors and battering rams or hammers or pry bars. He didn't have anything. What I would like to know is how he got inside the house. That's a huge huge question for me.
Anything else, Allison?
No, I mean, I'm just wanted to say, did you, from what you have been hearing, have you heard anything that last night's operation was mostly conducted by the FBI?
Yeah, I did hear some information from some contacts that I have that last night, was an FBI garnered the information and set the movement into action, and utilizing the Sheriff's Department SWAT team and other agencies to help track that guy down. So again, not that the FBI has control, but if they come up with something, because they're working the technical aspect of it, they may have information and it's actionable and it needs to be worked on right now. So they may have said, hey, this is what we got, let's go. And they mounted up the troops and rolled out.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Appreciate your time,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Thank you. I really, really appreciate Kurt for talking with me. I actually hear a helicopter right now, which is basically the sheriff's office helicopter has been in this area a lot, searching. It's so sunny out today, by the way, and hot today. So it's tough conditions for these search crews out here in the desert, and there's a lot of them now. Again, I told you more FBI agents have been showing up. I also met up with Rick Castigar.
Before we get into Rick Castigar, because that's when he's sitting in the vehicle with Rick Castigar, is there anything that you wanted to touch on that was talked about, Stefa? I know you were, going on about your business there, about good times from Delphi in chat, but were you paying attention to the actual video? Inquiring minds want to know.
Oh.
You're in a live stream.
Am I back?
Yep.
Okay, because I was like, I'm not in the live stream. I wasn't in there anymore. Would you make it? Like, did you pause me so I couldn't talk? Because you knew I would talk?
No, I didn't pause you. You paused yourself. Well, video's playing, so maybe it automatically paused you.
I'm like,
actually, no, it didn't. No, it didn't. No, you dropped and then I added you back. But now that I think about it, no. I mean, obviously, when I play a video, I can talk. So yeah, no, it was you that muted yourself, Missy. Okay. I didn't. I was just playing the video. Yeah, you were in the live streams. But were you listening at all?
I listened to it in the beginning, and then we started talking about things, and
no problem. Yeah. Well, I mean, there was nothing there really, like, in my twisted head, I'm like, well, maybe they released that guy yesterday so that after they scared the shit out of him, he would start texting back to whoever else was in on it. Like cops.
Poor guy. I heard that his own family is the one that turned him in.
No, I don't think so. No.
Isn't that what he said in the interview?
That his own family turned him in?
Yeah. Anybody that saw the interview today, is that what he said? See, I thought I saw like just a little bit of the interview, and I was like going back and forth. I was working, so when I wasn't on a phone call, I was. Yeah, that is what he said. Correct. Yes, that's what I thought.
Who said that?
The guy did an interview today
Harlow?
that got arrested last night. Yes.
Said that his own family turned him in?
Yes. Like, I don't know if they thought it looked like him, but I only heard like a little bit because I was in between phone calls with patients, and I was like, oh, did he just say that?
Yeah. I think you and Lacey, you take in some of that same freaking drugs there going on. I think both of you. Yeah.
One thing I've never done was drugs, so there's that. Now, remember when we used to have nights where we would like what did you used to drink?
Oh, Captain Morgan.
Yes, Captain Morgan's.
Mm.
I remember.
Good times.
Good times. Okay, so he said police said he looked like the masked guy. But what did his family turned him in? Was it because he looked like the guy in the video, correct?
Well, I mean, what it was, I believe, was that because he delivers packages, right? And he was asked if he delivered packages to that home, and he said, I don't know, basically could have. So I think it was, and who knows, right? We only know the surface. So, obviously he does just with the mustache kind of look like the guy in the video. I think it looks more like that Dominique guy, but yeah, I don't know. I think, and Lacey, don't make me do your work. I'm the one that listened to JLR yesterday. You go find that clip to prove to me that he said that.
Carla said he did too. Let me go back to her.
Well, Carlo was the guy that was
Well,
interviewed.
Carla in the group in here. She said,
"Oh, Carla."
Yeah, she said, "Hi, Carla. By the way, she said, letting you know that guy Carlos, the detainee, did 2 TV interviews and both were very off. Can we watch them or no?
I can go back to like a JLR when he did that yesterday. Like I could go. Let's go see JLR. Let's go pull up JLR. Let's see
what he's doing now. Are we missing anything? Why this is happening? I didn't even think about that.
Is he on a JLR 27K watching? What's he talking about right now? Okay, let's 1 second here.
Yeah, maybe we'll be like on a road trip. We'll be like inside the FBI, and we'll be in an interview room.
Yeah, he's driving right now. I'll come back to this video. Share screen, JLR.
Yeah. Forget you, Brian Entin. We're with JLR now.
Yeah.
Media pretty much.
Let's just see what he's saying right now.
They were all in this area looking for surveillance. What does that tell you? Why are you around here?
Yeah, why are they around there?
And JLR too. Like he's bright. I mean,
we're going to
he definitely
Tomaso's
is a bright
home.
guy.
We're just gonna see what's up.
What's up? What's
there
up?
right now.
He knows criminals.
I don't see anything breaking, and we're kind of just waiting for anything to break too.
So he kind of has that side of the law.
Hopefully, we can get that break in the case.
Look at all the tomatoes going on in there. See?
That's hilarious.
That Tommaso guy gonna be known as the Tomato Man. I tell you, I probably watched more than 6 hours of his live. Okay, so I'm gonna go back though to yesterday's live. So bear with me here. JLR. We'll come back. There's Tommaso right there. Tomato Man. 1 second. Okay, so shit, how many freaking streams has he done? So it was this one here.
Breaking.
It looks like he goes back and edited his time a little bit. Probably takes out some of the dead area on there, but let's see here.
He doesn't sleep. There's no way because
here it is. Okay,
always live.
Okay, let's see if Carlo says that his family. We'll just watch it from here. Okay, guys. All right.
Okay,
you guys. I'll play this clip for you guys for 6 million Bitcoin, not just $1 million, 6 million Bitcoin. All right. I feel like there's somebody watching right now that legit has that money, and it would look better. I just figure it would look better in my pocket than it would look in yours. Well, not yours.
Can I borrow some money then? Because
I'm kind of greedy that way. Sorry.
I don't want to live in Ohio anymore. It's so cold here.
Yeah. But I'll make sure I'll give you 1 Bitcoin if somebody sends me 6 million Bitcoin.
I wouldn't know how to do anything with it, so if you could put it in PayPal, that'd be great.
Right. Okay, so let me play this part of it. Come on, hit play. Let's go. He'll come out in a minute. We'll watch the action.
How is this even possible?
Where are they at? Right here.
Eh?
Dad lives like right by Amelia Maldonado Elementary School. How's it even possible?
See,
hey, they turned the lights off.
This is when the final.
Yo, they released the scene.
Is this Oro Valley?
Whoa, let's go.
Eh?
They're gone. Yo.
So again, anyone coming
go in.
This is yesterday's live on JLR when Carlos guy starts talking a bit.
This crime scene has been released. Yo, look at this. All right, let's go investigate. Look at this. All these media people are like pulling up. Woo! They just released the crime scene. Maybe. Dude, there's people out there. Come on, let's go.
He's in it, man.
Yep.
Let's go interview. They're interviewing people.
Right.
I don't watch
You don't watch the Today Show.
No.
So this was a complete shock.
It was.
What
kind
was
of questions were they asking you? Nothing. They didn't ask me no questions.
So they
nothing,
just said-
nothing. They
so they
just sent me
took
in the car. They investigated my car and this one, and that's it. They didn't ask me no questions. No, nothing.
Did you get the other car back? Or they still have it?
No, it's right there.
Oh, they gave it back to you. So
Yeah, it's
neighbors
like-
with said you can go home?
Yeah.
And how did they treat like the people you were with, your girl, your child? Yeah, not understood. Yep.
How's your family? They
Well, they're all
scared
in
everybody. I was gonna say they scared everybody, huh?
Yeah, they're all in shock right now.
Wow.
Did they damage the house? Yeah.
What did they do to the house?
They broke the doors. What else? The garage door in the back.
So what are you gonna do now?
I'll try to clear my name. I didn't do anything.
Well, this is one of the-
And I mean, I hope they get the suspect, because I'm not it. They better do their job and find the suspect that did it so they can clear my name. And I'm done. Look at what I'm putting my family through.
You're on
Not just
national
them,
news now.
Not just them. Even my parents in Tucson.
Right.
Yeah.
And your mother-in-law was worried about you. She was saying it doesn't look anything like him.
Yeah. See, that's what I'm telling you guys.
Why do you think they came here? Why did you think they came to you?
If I would have known that answer, I would have given it to you, but I don't.
So you have no idea what led them to you. Nothing. They didn't
Nothing.
they didn't say car make, a license, nothing.
Nada.
Carlos, ¿hablas español?
Los dos. Soy bilingüe.
Carlos, si nos puedes platicar en español para Telemundo Arizona, ¿qué fue lo que sucedió?
Pues me estaban acusando de secuestro, algo que yo no hice. Y me... I'm done.
Okay.
What's your name?
Sorry, what's your name, sir?
Carlos, una
Carlos.
declaración en español, por favor.
Gracias, Carlos. Gracias,
Not him.
Por favor, a ver.
Dude, are you gonna sue them? Are you gonna sue them? Oh, that is crazy.
That's Carlos? That's Carlos.
That's Carlos, man. They got the wrong guy.
Did you say his last name?
Yo, that's crazy.
Did you say his last name at any point?
Yo.
Okay. So I just want to confirm. At what point when they asked him, well, how did they find you? Or, you know, a car? Or what? I don't think I heard anything
He said
about
nothing.
I didn't hear him say anything about my family turned me in.
But I guess there's 2 interviews. Is it on the second interview, Carla, that he says that?
There's no second interview. What second interview? Did you
He
do
said there's
another?
2. Yeah, Carla said there's 2 interviews, and she said both of them he was what was the wording she used?
I don't think you did another interview after this.
What did Carla?
I mean, I haven't seen anything, but I can't see why he would.
One of them was at a podium. The one I saw was at a podium.
Where he was
Carlos
talking?
Did 2 TV interviews, and both are very off, she said. And the one I saw, he was at a podium. Let me see if I can find it on my phone while we're. First
Sure.
interview was one-on-one with reporter. We
With
did an interview
dark-haired.
with a dark-haired guy.
Maybe I just haven't seen it so far today because, I mean, I did just get home and I had seen a few, but I couldn't really, like, I didn't really look. I was just preparing for the stuff that I did see. So, I mean, very well could be and not calling you liars. Didn't know. But while we're in the midst of that, let's go to JLR.
Oh yeah. He's driving us somewhere, which I enjoyed. The drive yesterday was fun. Like, I was like, where are we going? He's like, FBI building, then hospital. And then I was like,
the sheriff's office, I think.
The sheriff's office.
Yeah. Volume's up. I don't hear no talking though. Is he outside somewhere? The flashlight.
We're ghost hunting
He's looking
now.
at cacti. What's he doing now?
See what I mean?
Oh, he is talking. Okay. Freaking $50, $50, $50.
This is crazy stuff.
$50.
It's called Northern
$50,
Hills.
$50.
In the back of the property, there's entire like things back here.
Did you see when the boar was
Hills and
following
canyon type
them
things.
with the
You see
FBI
cars
yesterday?
going down, ravines.
When the what was? Say?
That wild boar. I don't know what they're called in Arizona. They have their own.
No, I didn't see that. No.
That was funny.
Yeah.
JLR's like, man, it's good. I'm good. They're wild. They're like wild pigs. Kind that'll eat people.
Yeah, now we're gonna get into Glovegate.
Oh, okay. There was another interview with his mother as well, but there's a second interview with Carlos in it. Well, maybe he found out after the fact that family turned him in.
Dude, you could put a body back here.
Fabulous.
Literally, you could pull up in your vehicle.
Here, JLR. Where would you put a
Throw
body back
out?
here?
And I don't mean to be. Come on, let's be real. The feds are in here looking for body in the neighborhood or evidence. It appears to me they're looking in places, in tunnels. In pipes. In pipes. I've seen them go in pipes. I've seen them go in RV trailers. I've seen them look around properties. If they're looking for a body.
Yeah.
You don't go in drainage pipes and everything like that.
They're doing all of
Where
this.
are you going to go in an RV?
I just don't think that they.
Why are they searching a neighbor's RV?
I mean, I get that.
They stash evidence there? No.
Ransom is that if that's true, but I feel like that they were solidly
I think
believing
there's
in ransom.
possibility somebody could put a gun somewhere or the backpack or something. That's
I mean, the guy goes to the freaking scene with a backpack. Doesn't that remind you of Cavalcante?
Just pull up. Their house is right there.
Danilo
You can't see it.
Cavalcante.
But even with a flashlight out here, you're not going to be suspicious. Nobody can see it. Can anybody hear me?
Uh-oh.
Can anyone hear me? You can't even hear. Nobody can hear you. Anyone hear me out there?
That's from a movie.
Hello?
They're probably thinking.
Just say yes, you can hear me.
Probably from their house going, shut the fuck up out there. We can hear you.
You can't
We're sleeping.
Anything.
Yeah.
That boar's going to come after your ass if you don't stop.
This is some serious stuff, folks.
Some serious shit.
Outside the home of Tommaso.
The whole backpack thing kind of threw.
Can anyone hear me?
Yes, we can. Can you hear us?
Yes.
The dog heard me.
If I saw that guy coming at me in the middle of the night, that guy with the mask on and all that.
Ooh.
Oh, that would terrifying to wake up to that.
All right, I'm going to head back up towards the vehicles because I'm getting a little creepy.
Now, is he near Annie's? I think. Is he near Annie's?
No, I don't know where he's in the middle.
Imagine falling on one of those little fuckers. No thank you.
Can I just make an announcement? A PSA?
No. Sure.
Is she back here?
PSA for everybody in chat one thing I saw, misinformation, dumb people, dumb. Pacemakers do not have a G.
This is a car coming around at night.
Yeah. Just want to make sure. Pacemakers.
Hey, there's a car. Now he should be saying that. Can anybody hear me? Cars. Oh, pacemakers. Yeah.
People thought because her pacemaker was matching up to her.
It's okay, Carla.
Carla, that's okay. All I have, I probably should watch what I say, but I got over here
There's no
what
ring
you
camera catching anything like
Somebody
that.
in live, let me know if JLR finds a dead body along the way on this.
No, they don't remind her.
100% fact.
Lacey, you have a
FBI
funny
was at the
story about
neighbor's
that.
house across the street, and the other
But
neighbors. We filmed
I'll
it
just
yesterday.
mute you. I want to go back to Brian Entin's thing here. Where's Brian Entin's thing? I think I
You
gotta
said
show
you're
it again.
muting me?
Huh?
Oh, I thought you said I'm muting you.
No.
Shut the fuck up, Stephanie. Shut the fuck up.
Can you hear me? I'm gonna mute
Can
you.
anybody hear me?
Can anybody hear me? I know what you did last summer, Sefa.
Hey, that was supposed to be on the DL.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go back to Brian Entin and we'll play that where he's in the car with the guy, with that Rick guy.
Okay.
1 second here. Okay.
He is the former undersheriff here in Pima County. He was there for 40 plus years working for the Pima County Sheriff's Office. And he has been a great resource because he knows the area very, very well. He knows the landscape very, very well. And he has some interesting theories about why he believes Nancy Guthrie is still alive. He took me on a drive around this area near Nancy's house. So I wanted to, I think he's got a lot of good insight. So I wanted to introduce you guys to him.
Interestingly, Savannah began here in her career working for KVOA, the NBC affiliate here. And she was fresh out of college. She's an attorney as well. She went to the U of A here. And when she cut her teeth in Tucson, and she and I interacted dozens of times on stories that were going on involving the sheriff's department.
So you know Savannah.
Oh, sure.
So that must make this even more.
It makes it. I was so happy for her making it big. Local kid makes it big. It was really nice to see that. Delighted for her. She's such a sweetheart and a good-hearted person, caring, deferential, compassionate in what she does. Just a neat lady. So one of the things I see or saw that happened was this sheriff's department, which has talented people, but it's my opinion that once they knew that this was not an individual who walked away and might have succumbed to the desert, once they knew this was an abduction or a kidnapping, the federal entity should have been called in. And it's my opinion that the FBI should be charged with this investigation, and this sheriff's department should subordinate itself to the FBI. Now, the local elements are clearly an aspect that are needed, and the sheriff's department has that capability to provide that. But we don't have forensics like the FBI has. We don't have those who can look at personality types that might commit this kind of crime. And it should have been recognized initially that once this is labeled an abduction, get a task force together and bring on the FBI and ask them to take it over.
Why do you think that didn't happen?
Unfortunately, the sheriff, Chris Nanos, has an exorbitant ego, and he, in one case I can think of prior to this one, told the FBI he's the better investigator and he doesn't need their help. And that was a critical case that we needed their help with. This one, in particular, they have far more resources than the sheriff's department has. This county was established in 1865. It's a big county, and law enforcement has been an element to it for decades and decades. And it has a lot of experienced people and talented people, but not the resources that the federal agencies have. So it's apparent that perhaps Nancy was abducted. It's apparent that she was likely injured in the process. It's apparent that somebody did it for a reason. We don't know. There seems to be the thought that there's money involved in Bitcoin. And, I'm sitting back in my experiences of 46 years in law enforcement asking, well, why is it $6 million? Why isn't it $3 million or $10 million? And why is it labeled US dollars? What does that tell me? And I'm asking myself, where are they keeping, Nancy? The logistics involved in keeping a person safe, if in fact you want to turn that person over safe to get money, is complicated.
Do you think, though, that the
the ransom element could just be wrong? I mean, that they're moving on from that. Are you hearing anything? Because it seems like, based on Savannah's last video and some of the messaging from the FBI and the sheriff's office last night, that they may be following other leads now, something totally different.
Well, certainly, and they've gone back to the scene to look at the vegetation of the desert in and around the home. I would have hoped that was initially inspected in such detail that you look for footprints, you look for downtrodden areas in the desert. And as you can see, that's not necessarily an easy thing to do. Is this a kidnapping? I don't know. Why would they have her this length of time if, in fact, the family has decided to pay and they want her back? What has happened? Is there another nefarious intent here? Is somebody angry at the family for some reason? And we don't know that. I don't know that. I would be asking those questions. I would be looking at the cameras that go in and out of this jurisdiction to the border of Mexico. The first night, if she was taken, and presumably by a vehicle, where are the tire tracks? Did they head to the border with her and cross somewhere into Mexico?
Do you think they even looked for tire tracks? I mean, it just seemed so rushed in the beginning, and they opened everything back up.
I think the initial thinking was, this is another elderly person who's wandered away, and that happens in the desert often. That type of a situation happens. And the resources that were called out initially, search and rescue folks, people on foot, investigators, the sheriff's department has a homicide team, and one of their ancillary responsibilities is to look for missing people and start delving into it. But it's clear to me that the evidence that they found at that house was indicative of an abduction and a crime. That was clear to me. And I'm not looking at the case. I don't know the specifics. So I think there's some flailing of arms, literally, going on, and an investigation that's unclear. Sadly, I know Chris Nanos, the sheriff, and his personality type and his need to micromanage, and he stifles creativity because of the way he interacts with his talent. And that is not necessarily a positive thing when you have an investigation of this sort. You need resources, you need outside looks at this.
Is he still, do you think the sheriff's office is still in charge? Do you know? Because it's kind of hard. On the outside, he's quieted down a lot, and the FBI seems like they are taking over some aspects.
Well, they're supporting, and I've heard the sheriff say that our partners, our federal partners, which infers that they're involved in this. It's my opinion they should be the lead. And
is it just an ego thing?
Yes, that is my opinion. It's an ego thing. And I have seen that play out with that personality, Chris Nanos, a number of times in my career. And it's not helpful. Sometimes you need to back up, reassess, and consider what other resources might be available and call on those.
Is it true that the homicide team is inexperienced?
It is true. They're less experienced than previous homicide details, but a lot of folks have retired, myself included.
I mean, how inexperienced?
To my understanding, there's a number of them that have only been in their positions a couple of years, and that is not enough experience to deal with this type of a crime. To abduct an elderly person and demand money is I can't recall in 46 years of law enforcement service a case like that ever occurring, ever, and that's troubling. But who has the experience? And I think the federal agencies do, and they should have been called in earlier, in my opinion.
There's reports now that they're DNA swabbing, people who worked in Nancy's house, that kind of thing. Is that pretty typical?
Yes.
That doesn't mean that those people would be suspects, I don't think, right? I mean, it's just they're probably just trying to. Well, what do you think?
I believe that if it's being done now, should have been done a long time ago. I'm sure that there are support individuals, that have come in, whether they have medical, nurse visits as an example. Those people need to be talked to. Landscapers need to be talked to. The pool keeper needs to be talked to. DNA pulled from all of those is important, because if you've got an unknown DNA, which perhaps they do, I don't know whether they do or don't, you need to exclude or look at a match.
Yeah, that would make sense. You mentioned how big the county is. I mean, until you're here, you don't really realize it, how vast it is, and there's it's tough terrain.
Just for people at home who don't know, I mean, just describe it a little. And how big is it?
This county, Pima County, named after the Pima Indians, is 9,241 square miles. That is huge. There's a town 150 miles from where we are right now that's still within the county. The county has a border, direct border with Mexico, and that's miles and miles, tens and tens of miles long. The county is bigger than some states along the East Coast, New Hampshire, Connecticut, Rhode Island, and it requires a special type of policing. One officer might have a need and could be 30 miles away, and that's not easy to get there quickly. So the topography, as you can see, we're heading into the Saguaro Monument, is another challenge. The desert is not necessarily, it's beautiful, but it's not always friendly. There are a number of risks out there with thorny bushes and cactus and poisonous animals that, do hurt people that go out in it. So the search and rescue capability of the Sheriff's Department is pretty busy. They're always busy. They're always searching for something.
Do you know what happened with the plane? I've heard some reports that the plane didn't get up right away because of a beef with the sheriff and the pilot. Is that true?
Well, I don't know it to be true. I've heard the same thing. It's my understanding he dismissed the pilot that was going to fly the night that she was missing. It's my understanding that same pilot contacted via a chain of command the sheriff and said, look, we have a need. We have aircraft available. Can I go? And he declined, is what I've been told. I don't know that to be true, but that sounds like what the sheriff would do.
Do people know that Nancy Guthrie, I mean, I'm just, I'm trying to think about like why this may have happened. And obviously Nancy's daughter is Savannah and people know she has money, but do people in town in Tucson know that Nancy Guthrie lives here and where she lives? Is she known in that way to be Savannah's mom?
Yes, I think the vast majority of people who pay attention to what's going on in this community know that Savannah grew up here, went to school here, and her mother lives here. I think a lot of them know that. I don't know that they personally know Nancy, but certainly they know of Savannah and the success that she has had in her career. And she's brought a sense of pride to this community because we're all proud of what Savannah has done. And we want to band together and deal with this unusual situation and get Nancy back to the family.
Let's talk about the geography here.
Well, what you're looking at is really typical desert right now. And obviously everybody recognizes saguaro cactus, and we're going to see a lot more. But some of the other shrubbery around here, like these spiny things that are tall to my left, those are called acatillo. And if you look closely at them, they all have spines on them. There's mesquite brush here, palo verde trees, which actually the name is Spanish for a green tree. That's one of those right there. I don't know that you wanted a tour necessarily. People have heard about certain cactus that jump off at you and stick to you. And those are actually called jumping cholla. And I'll show you one when we get around.
I'm just thinking though, like, and I hope Nancy's alive somewhere. I mean, obviously,
we all,
but when I look at this, there's a lot of places to hide something.
There is. The topography is extreme. We're at 3,000 feet in elevation, right where we're at right now. And there's a mountain in front of us that goes up to close to 7,000 feet. And there's a mountain to the north of us that goes almost 10,000 feet. And everything in between creates a topography that's a challenge. And as I was mentioning earlier, the search and rescue team for the Sheriff's Department has really difficult times in trying to locate people who come to this part of the country ill-prepared, without water, get lost, and
do people just vanish and you never find them?
Well, yes, that's happened. Typically they're found, but in many instances they're found deceased because they were ill-prepared. They didn't have enough water. In the summer, you could have 8% humidity and 115-degree temperature. That will kill you very quickly.
So do you have a, I mean, I hate to say gut feeling, but based on, the people you know, and you obviously still know a lot of people, you were at the sheriff's office for how long?
46 years.
46 years. What is your gut telling you right now?
My gut is telling me that she's still alive.
Really?
And that the people who are holding her are trying to manage the logistics to get what they want, which presumably is money, and then safely return her. That's my gut.
So you think it was a kidnap, like a legit kidnapping?
Yes.
Yeah.
That is the most logical outcome for this case. But there are certainly other possibilities, and you have one could be she was taken to spite some member of the family. We don't know that, but that certainly is an area that needs to be addressed and looked at.
But I just wonder why. I mean, it just seems like there'd be other people you could kidnap that would be easier, that are connected to more money than just this older woman who's needs medicine, can't walk very well.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yes, I think as I intimated, the logistics involved in keeping her now into week 2, just healthy and alive, is extremely difficult. And you know, who could do that, and where would you keep her? This particular case has gotten national, even international coverage, and I think Nancy's face is extremely easy to recognize. How do you take her to someplace if, in fact, you need to get care for her, or have her eat, or use the restroom?
Would it be easy to get her into Mexico?
Yes, it would. There are heavily traveled border areas that you go down, and the United States Border Patrol pretty much gives you access without much question, and the Mexican authorities on the other side are typically, they won't question you. You just go in, and it's highly likely she could be in Mexico. It's my opinion that might be one of the places that would logically make some sense to deal with her until what they want, what they're demanding, is satisfied.
If you were still at the sheriff's office, I mean, what would you have done differently? Would you have taken help from more people early on? And how important is it in those first couple of days to do that?
It's critical the first couple of days. And yes, I would have taken things differently in a different course. I would have called on a task force. And the whole idea is to collaborate with other people who may have other ideas and other input and other experiences in law enforcement that could come to the table to compile all of this as a strategy to try to deal with this. The longer this sheriff's department takes to try and resolve this, the more difficult it may become, because there are medical issues with her and the need for her to get that attention, medical attention. I would have called in the FBI very early on, and as we have now learned, this was considered to be an abduction, kidnapping initially. Well within the scenes, the first 24 hours, they were coming to that conclusion. And the sheriff was, for reasons I don't clearly understand, was withholding detail that came out later that could have come out sooner. And he could have enlisted the help of the resources I've mentioned earlier, like the FBI and their forensic capabilities, not just electronically, but certainly with the evidence that's at the scene. They could have helped with that, could have helped expedite that.
Yeah, I was thinking about just motives. You know, it's like money for these kinds of things, and based on other stories we've covered: money, sex, vengeance. You know, vendetta. Do you think it could be like a vendetta or vengeance against someone else in the family that maybe doesn't have anything to do with Savannah Guthrie?
It could be. I mean, all of those situations or motives are certainly possible. A lot of people keep drawing to Savannah and her notoriety as being the impetus for this crime. That's not necessarily something you would want to solely focus on, because there are certainly other possibilities. Has someone in the family been or angered somebody else to cause them to do this? Those are things that need to be thoroughly vetted, and that's what police investigation is. Talk to the brother, talk to the sister, talk to any other siblings, caretakers, as we've discussed before.
Really appreciate Rick for taking the time to talk with me. I'm going to obviously be staying on this, see what develops today, and keep you guys posted with any developments. You guys know I'll post right away.
That's the end of that one. Someone, Darlene, says, believe it or not, they just found blood in the driveway today. Well, if that's the case, then honestly, they should all just quit. If that's the case.
Yeah, because that'll never be able to bring into trial. That can't go into trial.
So 11 days after the scene's been contaminated, and they would find blood today. Like, seriously, then they should all quit their jobs. If that seriously is the case. So I don't know. Like I said, I haven't heard that. If it's like true that they did, like I said, then that's just ridiculous. I mean,
embarrassing to our FBI. Wow.
Yeah. I don't know. Hi, little black bear. How are you? Like, okay, so go ahead, Steph. What were you gonna say?
My brain's going to so many other places, but I really have a problem with that because I'm thinking about. Well, first of all, with the gentleman in the video, what was his name again?
Rick.
What he was saying, he nailed it because he obviously has been with the sheriff's department like for 50 years. So he's seen several
46.
sheriffs come in and out.
Yeah.
And he knows the game. And go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry. No, I'm cutting you off totally here, but I mean, honestly, like he literally, totally like, and not to say that he was, being mean, but it was nice kind of hearing someone that spent 46 years and then basically calling Nanos basically an egotistical jerk. We've seen it in Delphi because in same thing happened. So in Delphi, same thing, egos got in the way. And when it came to, again, a small little town like Delphi in a sense, and they thought that they could do the job way beyond their heads, and there was all this arguing going on, all these egos, and so they weren't working together, they were working apart, and it just sucks. So I probably believe, looking at that little, because I think, I don't know what he is, if he's Italian or from Greek, what, I'm not sure where Nanos is from, his back, or like his ethnicity or whatever, but he looks like a small little mouthpiece for sure. But I mean, obviously this guy, 46 years, is basically calling a spade on him, and I'm sure it's true. And the egos get involved in jurisdiction, and like, honestly, it's a joke what happens behind the scenes sometimes, when you just think that they would all get along, play nice to each other, just be helpful, work as a team. But we know that's not the case, and it totally sounds like that's not the case here. And what could have been done at the start, obviously wasn't. I mean, Nanos even said, like, I'm going to take the hit for this one. Yeah, because, obviously you don't release like something that quickly back to the family. Then it gets contaminated by all these people that are now walking on the property, able to take video footage with Brian Entin and his cameraman there. And who knows who else was on the property. But it's just such a weird case. Now, go ahead, Steph. I cut you off totally there. But
well, first of all, with that last comment, he should take the hit, because he is, when you are the leader, that is what you do, because you are responsible for the people underneath you, and if they are shit, then you take their shit. So, and by the way, hello, little bear, or little black bear, it's good to see you. Sorry. Okay, so this is how I feel. If that man knows what he's talking about, he's been there almost 50 years, and he was smart. I mean, he was definitely intelligent, and I can't believe that we have dumber in the department, but they obviously do, because they release the scene. It's like Chris Watts when they release the scene in a couple hours, but that the case was so big immediately, and knowing that who Nancy's daughter is, that they released it. I mean, I understand they just thought it was a missing person, but by 11 o'clock in the morning, they knew that was 11. No, that's when they found out she was missing. It was not very long after that they knew that it was more than just that. I'm just thinking in my head as we're talking about how homicide detectives, because Tucson is not a small town. I mean, Tucson, because it was their whole county. So Pima County is not small. It's a big county. Tucson, Arizona, that's where my best friend lived for until like just recently. So I went out there to visit her when I was like 17. It is a big place. And I can't imagine, I mean, they do quite a bit of homicides a year, that the homicide detectives would not have the forethought that that crime scene should be released, and it gets trampled on, and they thought like they would be able to, the evidence that they collect after that the crime scene was released, and then people or the family had been in there, Thomas the Train had been in there, so he could have done whatever he wanted during that time. I'm just trying to think of the intelligence that was going on. Like
Yeah.
I can't. I just can't.
What I thought was weird though was when that Rick guy started talking about it and started saying, "Well, it's clearly an abduction, clearly this," and then towards the end, he's like, and Brian Entin said, "So you believe it's a kidnapping and whatever?" And he's like, "Yeah," and I'm like, "Wait, so." I mean, to me, kind of the two are intertangled anyway. Abduction, kidnapping, same idea, really.
Your good friend Steve, the web guy. Well, I forget what was his name.
True crime webs.
Yeah. He explained it one time. He said, "Wait a minute. Abduction is if you move somebody like 1 foot or like one step away." I forget. He explained it, but there is a difference, and it's got a different penalty. Abduction has a bigger penalty than kidnapping, or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I get that there's a difference there, but kidnapping, abduction, I don't know,
It's
whatever.
illegal.
Now,
I mean, it's a legality thing. It's still same thing. You're taking somebody away from where they don't want to be, or something, you know.
Hi, Joe. Joe, yeah, I mean, I'm just doing lives as I feel like doing them or can do them, in a sense, but kind of on the early shift. So been doing some more lives, and this case has been very intriguing. You know, took some time off definitely during Christmas, especially just to paint and just do things I wanted to do. You get burnout after a while, right? You just get burned out, you know, especially when you're working full time and doing lives every day and stuff. It's just, at some point you get burnt out, right? But anyway, so yeah, so I haven't been doing very many lives, but this case is intriguing me a lot, because, you know, what I want to say about that is this, and I know that this man has 46 years experience and going by, you know, everything. So I'm not saying anything against that he could be right or anything, but I just don't buy the fact that kidnappers 2 days later are playing this game of cat and mouse, and that there's been no word from them since the time has passed. Why would they want to keep holding on to some lady as, you know, like, oh, you know what? Let's just give it a month. I'm sure we're going to get the money out of them by then and stuff like that. Like, this doesn't feel to me like it's like that these people truly have Nancy, and that she's alive and kicking somewhere. Like, she could very well be, but the whole 2 days after, then they asked for 4 million. Then it's like, you know what, fuck it, let's just go to 6. You know what, like I said, wait a couple days, ask for a bit more, and then what? And then you get some dude ass today sitting there saying, well, give me a Bitcoin and I'll sit there and tell you who the kidnapper is. Fuck off.
That was stupid. That was stupid.
It's another, but it's just, it doesn't make sense when people want money and they're doing a kidnap, like they're doing an abduction or whatever you want to call it, a kidnapping, I guess more so when it comes to a ransom. It just, you know, like, not that ransom, these things happen every day in cases, but it doesn't make sense. You want the money, Here's your fucking proof of life. Here's your mother, and give us our money. Like, this whole thing that's going on, it seems like bullshit is what it seems like. That's why it doesn't make sense to me. It's not making sensical sense, or whatever you want to call it, that this all is playing out like this in this weird ass way of someone. They're businessmen if it's a true kidnapping. Give me my money, basically your mom's dead. But when you want that type of money, yeah, you're gonna
Why?
show.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No. It's just it's not. It seems like children, but adults sitting behind hackware, sitting there that have the brain knowledge and the power of all that shit. It just seems like BS. That's why it comes out like it just doesn't seem like true kidnappers that are wanting money, besides trying to extort it because of the situation going on and pretending that they have the mother. That's how it comes across to me at this moment now. It just doesn't seem, it just seems weird. Like, yeah, go ahead.
It does. And the thing is, wouldn't she have been worth more if she was dead? Like if they would have killed her there? And I say that because then there would be proof that she was dead and the family would have gotten her assets. If she's gone, if she's kidnapped and there's no proof, if she's not proven to be dead, there's no assets for them to get.
There's no assets for who to get?
For the family.
Well,
If it's family driven, if they're kidnappers and they're wanting money, like just randoms that wanted money, why wouldn't they have asked for ransom immediately? Why wait days? And then if you truly wanted the money, you'd be trying to get the money. Like you would be communicating. They were begging for communication. Remember, like the family was like, please communicate. They never communicated with the family ever. That was sending these encrypted messages that never showed that they were truly that we know of. They were truly kidnappers. Like the way the family spoke. And again, we're just going by what we see, that they had any true information that their parent had been kidnapped. Like they just were going with, please show us that proof of life, or then they think that she's no longer with us at one point. I mean, and then please look out for her. We need your help, So it wasn't like what we've been, they can say whatever they want to try to get a response from the kidnapper, which we can interpret as one thing or the other. But I don't see, I'm trying, I guess in my brain, trying to figure out why, like what is the purpose in keeping her alive? I don't know why you would want to put that burden on yourself as a kidnapper, because it's not easy taking care of a 83-year-old woman, especially if she is distraught and she could need to go to the hospital or whatever, and she's going to need her meds next month, or I don't know. I mean, if they're just basic heart pills that you can get from a neighbor, then or get over it in Mexico, then not a big deal. But I mean, what if she ends up having something? I don't know, her gallbladder goes bad, or stuff happens when you're and you're 83 that are unexpected. It's weird.
Before
help me understand.
I can't understand shit in this case. Let me play out this one clip that came out not too long ago, and it says that there are two most likely scenarios in Nancy Guthrie case. Let's see what it says here. Fox
on the
News.
ground in Tucson. He joins us now. Randy, good to see you again. Thanks for taking the time, sir. So, what do you make of this? That I mean, it's I don't want to say it's a kind of zigzag nature to this investigation, but you can be forgiven for thinking that they go out in the hills and they search and they come back and they say we didn't find anything. Then they follow one lead and then they come back to searching again. The other day they've got a dipstick down in a hole. We don't know if it was a septic tank or a sewer or something else. I mean, piece it out for us. Tell us what they're up to.
Yes.
Well, I think there are two most likely scenarios here. They are clearly looking for something that I am going to venture a guess was tossed from a vehicle. That makes sense given the circumstances of this search. And they're putting a lot of personnel into it, which tells me that they're looking at this seriously. Now, I think there's two most likely scenarios. One is that they received a phone tip that said, if you do this, you may find this. And that would spur something like this on, maybe something a little more specific. If you look for a phone, you might find that kind of thing. The other is I think more likely, and that is as the digital evidence comes in from the cell phone towers that the FBI has been examining, there could have been some indication that something was that they lost, communications with a device or something. I think that may be more likely, but of course, I'm just surmising.
Right. So this investigation went from a snail's pace to a full gallop yesterday when the video information from the front doorbell of Nancy Guthrie came out. A man was briefly detained and let go. There was also a search conducted of a residence in Rio Rico. Here's what the Pima County Sheriff said about that. Investigators have completed their search of a property in Rio Rico. Nancy Guthrie investigation is ongoing. No further details at this time. Despite the new momentum yesterday, it's looking like this could go on for a long time. Here's what Kash Patel sent last night.
I do believe we are looking at people who, as we say, are persons of interest. But as you know, with any investigation, you are a person of interest until you're either eliminated or you're actually found to be the culprit or the culprits involved. And that's the stage we're at right now.
Well, so there's, you get a tip, you get a lot of police activity, but so far, no joy.
No, unfortunately, you're right. And yesterday when the determination came out that they were going to leave, we saw the SWAT trucks leave here and go to a property down in Rio Rico, and that there had been a vehicle stop made and someone detained. There was a lot of excitement, a lot of thoughts that perhaps this was coming to a conclusion. But this is the problem with law enforcement investigations. You're going to run into dead ends. What it did show, though, is that they are actively pursuing these leads. This is good policing, and we have seen that as the days tick by, we saw inertia. In the last, after the first couple of days, there was some inertia, and then when this incredible videotape was released to the public, it is without a doubt causing a deluge of tips coming in.
Right, and they've got to sift through those one by one by one, and all it takes is a tip that they hit on, and suddenly this case is solved. So we'll see if that happens. Randy, thanks for being with us again. Appreciate your time.
Sure thing. Thanks for having me.
Sandra?
Better than expected jobs numbers.
Boom, boom, boom. Boom, 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 boom. Kash Patel, absolutely nothing. Let's see here. Let's put Nancy back up here.
Where's JLR at? Do you know?
He went off. He's not live anymore.
What?
Yeah, I know.
That's
He's
a
obviously
disgrace.
taking a break. He'll be back. He's just probably taking a break.
Maybe he's at McDonald's.
Yeah, he's probably eating right now. I'm honestly just kind of blown away by how this case is going in a lot of ways. Like, it's just weird. Like, it's just, yeah. Like,
I had it all figured out when I got here. Now you messed it all up, I think.
Yeah, you had it all figured out?
I had it all figured out. And now?
Well, it's one of those things. It's because it's like a zigzag here, zigzag there, and then you wonder why they're over at Annie's home, searching that area. You know, it's just how just watching it. It's just like ping pong, bing, 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 bing. You know, and then next thing you know, they arrest this guy, dude, Carlos. You know, and then like I said, your hopes are up, and then they're dashed, and then you're like, you know, and then you get this other fucker coming in with a Bitcoin. Give me a Bitcoin, and I'll tell you where they are. And then you wonder like, how much is the ransom just a big fucking hoax? Is there truth to it? Is there insider? Because, you know, like everyone was saying at the start, right? It looks like it's an insider thing, like someone that knows, you know, it's gonna be the fucking gardener at the end of the day or something, right? You know, freaking gardener or something.
But they're not getting anything out of it right now.
But
Like,
it's,
there's
yeah,
nothing-
like it's like, so if there was so much belief in this whole ransom thing, but yet, you know, well, okay, now let's start poking down the sewers and or not the septic tank thing and whatever, and then hey, well, let's, you know, now we're gonna search out. You didn't think to do that, like freaking
yes.
How many days of fucking go?
That was like almost a week later. You're just now thinking,
Hmm.
and it was a neighbor that told them about the septic tank, which was another thing that brought up. Okay,
Thanks,
so the neighbor said is the one that caught, it was somebody's, she was watching the news and saw on the news that somebody had their drone up, and so she saw Nancy's roof and called law enforcement because she saw that there was still a camera up. The neighbor caught it, not any other law enforcement agency. It was a
Really?
neighbor who saw it on the news. This was days later. The FBI had been there, and and of course the county had been there. So it's shit like that where I'm like, what they get off that stuff, a defense attorney is going to eat them alive because they're going to say, "Oh, you already had the scene released," like you, or if a judge even lets it come into evidence at all. So I'm going, oh my gosh, because I mean, think about it. Anybody could go and play anything they wanted to. Now, I doubt they did because there were people outside of the residence the entire time with like JLR or whoever, but it's the whole case, stuff like that just happened every single day. There was some phenomenon that doesn't happen in any other case that has, oh yeah, black glove found near Nancy's house.
Well, I was gonna say this came out 13 minutes ago.
Oh
8
my
minutes.
God.
You want to listen to it?
Yeah, because that's what JLR got live. He found, or he was there with the FBI. That's one thing that he did was he followed them around as the FBI went around. This is, I want to hear what old, what's his name has to say.
Yeah, curious. Let's play this. So this is again Fox News.
Founder Harvey Levin is with us.
Levin.
Harvey,
Let's
all
see
right.
what-
So we have the glove. We have a third letter. Of course, TMZ. You are right in the middle of that. Let's start with the letter you received today,
yes,
and
ma'am.
the differences between this and the first letter you received.
Well, the first letter was a ransom letter, and it had a Bitcoin address. And as we told you yesterday, Sean, there was activity in that account. This letter that we got this morning is not a ransom letter. It is a letter saying that this person who wrote it knows the identity of the kidnapper. And for the price of 1 Bitcoin, that person will disclose the information. The person gives a Bitcoin address. We have checked it all day. So far, there is no Bitcoin that has been deposited, as you said, worth about $67,000. If this is a hoax, it's a crime. It is criminal fraud. But we turn this over to the FBI and the Sheriff's Department.
Oh, and thank you for doing that. And I know you've been helping authorities as much as you possibly can. I know it's played a big role in all this. The odd thing about that, when I read, 1 Bitcoin, you're right. I just looked at the price. It's $67,000, $67,500. And I'm thinking, well, they're offering a reward of $50,000, and you're not risking going to jail. Why? It made no sense to me.
Let me give you a hypothesis on that. So there have been situations recently, actually, where a reward was offered by federal authorities, but when the person was captured, there was some controversy over whether the people who helped capture that person should get the reward or not. And there were a lot of people who were upset about that because they didn't get the reward. So it may be that this person knows that it's not a sure thing, and doing it this way is a bird in the hand.
You know, I would think everybody wants to be all hands on deck. You'd like to believe the best in people, right? If you can help, if you have information, you don't want to charge for it. You want to go all in and help the family out, help your fellow American out. It doesn't make any sense. Okay.
I'm more cynical than you.
Go ahead. I want to continue.
I'm more cynical.
Well, you were cynical last night when I said to you, I know you used to be a lawyer, and you said, I still am, in a private conversation we had, which made me laugh out loud. Let me ask you about the FBI, what they're looking for based on the video and also the note today. I mean, when you put that all together, because more than anybody that I know in this case, you've been in contact with law enforcement. What are they looking for today? And I want to remind people at home, too, that it was only yesterday that we got this breakthrough, this video. I know people want a conclusion. It's not Dateline. This is real life. It's hard to catch criminals. They're doing the best they can. It's all hands on deck. But what is the FBI looking for based on what you can put together?
Well, I can tell you, we have spoken with law enforcement about this, and they are clearly looking at the items this person was wearing. And three things in particular were told. The backpack that he's wearing, the gloves, and the gun. So let me talk about two of these things. The backpack, we did some digging, and we found that the backpack looks like a Walmart Ozark Trail hiker backpack. And what you see is there are reflective pieces on the backpack that match this Walmart backpack. One of the television stations in Tucson, KOLD, said today that, late today, that indeed the law enforcement believes it is that Walmart backpack that the person was wearing. That's important because one of the things that law enforcement does, and frankly that we've done, is you call around to stores in the area and find out, is there anybody that bought one of these recently that they remember? Now the FBI can come in and they can have a subpoena and they could have them look at their records. And even if somebody pays cash, you can look at when they came in and then look at the surveillance video, which is how they've caught people before. They could do the same with Amazon to try and track it. Now, let me tell you about the gun, Sean, because I think this is really interesting. We had our people look at this very, very closely. This looks like the person has the gun in a polyester holster. Now, it's important because typically people who have a polyester holster carry a revolver in it. In this case, it was a semi-automatic handgun. And I don't know enough about guns, but people who do say it's unusual to put a semi-automatic in that kind of a holster. So we started calling gun ranges in the area to find out if anybody happened to see this, because people familiar with guns might have noticed, oh, that person has a weird gun in that holster, maybe. And so we weren't able to find anything, but I can tell you the FBI is doing exactly the same thing as is the Sheriff's Department.
Well, it's interesting. I picked up on that as well. I've had a pistol carry permit my entire adult life. I've had it in 6 different states. I have one in the free state of Florida. The placement of that weapon caught my attention. I don't know anybody that has ever put a weapon in front like that, unless it might be in a kind of fanny pack, but that, of course, would be sealed and covered and you wouldn't see it. But your friend's observation is dead on accurate also. So that caught my attention. What can you tell us? There's been a search in the Foothill area in and around the Guthrie home. You getting any details on that?
One of the things I'm told they have been really trying to get is some video of the vehicle that this person used to arrive there and then leave. And I am told that as of this afternoon, they have come up goose eggs. They just haven't found anything where they have that vehicle. There were reports about a suspicious vehicle at a market nearby, but law enforcement tells me that they're still looking because the vehicle could be just critical here, but they have not been able to locate a vehicle that aligns with this person.
All right, there is hope. Fox News Digital is reporting they have 2 gloves, not just the one, that I don't know how many people are wearing gloves in Tucson. I don't know. There's been a cold snap in the country. Maybe it was cold there for a while. But certainly that could be a break in the case. That could lead to fingerprints. That could lead to DNA. We could always hope on that part of it. We really appreciate your time, Harvey. Great work as always. And your cooperation with
Can I just say one thing before I leave?
Yeah.
You know, if these gloves are the real deal, it's going to be a huge thing if they find DNA. It's just weird to me that somebody who took enough care to completely cover themselves to presumably try and cover their tracks. It's one thing if you drop one glove, a la O.J. Simpson, but if you drop both of them after you're gone, there's just something weird about that.
The only thing, and I'll get into this a little bit more with Nancy Grace, and we spoke earlier today, and I just want to remind people, it was only yesterday that we got this big break in the case. After 10 long, hard days, they got the break. And I've got to believe that that reverse AI lighting video that they put out, where you can really get a good glimpse into the eyes and the features of this individual, I think ultimately that breaks the case. That's my hope. That's my prayer. I hope it happens sooner than later. And obviously that Nancy Guthrie is home, safe and sound, back with her family. That's our hope.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
I know you are. All right, Harvey, thank you. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to middle of that.
Yeah, like, I mean, I'll be a monkey's uncle if those gloves have anything to do with this case whatsoever. Honestly. I mean, we can only hope he's a total idiot and did that, but...
Well, he wasn't too smart. I mean, he...
I know, but that's what I'm saying. So unless he's like a total idiot, you know, what? So you're driving down the road and whoosh, oh, there goes both my gloves. It doesn't make sense to what he was trying to do. So although the flower thing was so stupid, you know, just honestly.
It would match law enforcement though, because then it would be like an even match, because law enforcement was not the brightest in this case. So, you know, it would match more with the suspect. So, because, you know, you got to have an even playing field.
Yeah.
Oh, just find Nancy, somebody, please. God,
yeah.
bless her.
Like, there's like this case. It just has just I don't know how to explain it. Besides, everything in this case is like wackadoodle. It's like bizarro. Honestly, it's just like, it's like freaking crazy ass.
Oh, what was the thing about? I saw that Adult Protective Service. Has anybody in chat seen this? It was on X. It was Adult Protective Services had a card, a business card, like they had been there days before. Did anyone else see that? Let me see if I can find it on my phone. Why we're going. Go. Let me do that while you're doing that, Sunny, and see if I can find it, because I was confused about that. I saw that yesterday, and I was like, "Is this true?" I want to see if it's from a real source.
Oh, okay.
So let's see.
While you're doing that,
Annette saw it too. Okay.
I'll just, while you're doing that, I'm just gonna, what else has come out?
I'm sure something major's happened in the past 10 minutes too, because there's probably like, oh, we arrested 8 people, but we released 2 of them.
Hey?
Okay. I'm being stupid because like every 10 minutes something major happens. Like if you fall asleep, like you wake up and something happens. Okay, business. Okay, it was Nancy.
See, even this Fox News, where this one guy, the title says, things have gotten weird. Slightly.
You think?
Yeah.
Okay, I guess breaking adult protective services for card found. I'm just trying to find, this is on Florida Today. Oh, wait a minute. Here it is. Yeah, it was SF Investigates.
Oh, fuck that dude. Fuck that dude. SF Investigates. I had the displeasure of seeing his freaking ass face on what was it? Was Fox or CNN? So you like that dude? Seriously?
I am liking him more and more. I will say that. I used to not stand him.
He's such an egotistical prick.
The more cases that I've seen him on, I have been more apt to like him.
Yeah, I want to vomit when I see him. if nobody knows that dude, like I said on Twitter,
let me read it. Ickadmel had it on there. Oh, on his Facebook. Let's see.
But anyways, what does FS Investigates have to say? Or he posted something
on X, where it has the picture of the Ickadmel has it on there too. This card belongs to investigators with APS. According, I need my glasses. God, I swear to God, I got old like 3 years ago, and I can't read. The card belongs to an investigator with APS named Deborah M.
What card? Explain the story, but explain that again. What card?
Let me send it to you. It's. I'm trying to do it. Share on the Facebook because I know you don't want SFs, so I'm going to send it through Ickadmel's. It's on.
Yeah.
And Messenger. Sunny. Okay, there you go.
Okay, so wait.
My mama be calling protective services. Weird though, if that is true about this adult protective services, and then we got ICAC involved, I'm like, okay, we're running. How many agencies? What are we missing? Like we got. It's just like every toss and turn, and you are the professional. You'd be able to tell if this was a fake thing, right?
This card?
Picture. This is a picture of Adult Protective Services on Nancy's door. This was supposed to be like a couple days before. But I didn't want to send you... the original came on SF's, but I didn't want to send you that because you hate him.
Why is it... Like, what is it about people that can't take a fucking picture is what I want to know. Like, seriously. You guys might think, but the closer, like, you can see it, well, it looks like a freaking...
Well, I think we can see it on X, but I don't want to put... If I send that to you, then you'll have to see what's his name's face.
Yeah, I don't need to see. But the one... Let's just... let me ask. On Douche's X there, is it a clearer picture than this one?
Yeah, I think so. Let me go pull it from my X account. It's easier.
Because that's just crappy quality right there.
It is, but he took it from another place. So hold on.
Yeah. Well, what it says, I'll read what it says, though. It says, breaking Adult Protective Services card found on Nancy Guthrie's door. This is a detail that's raising a lot of questions today. A private investigator known as Dick Fuck noticed that a card from Adult Protective Services, APS, was left on the door of Nancy Guthrie's home before her disappearance. A private investigator noticed that a card from Adult Protective Services, APS, was left on the door of Nancy Guthrie's home before her disappearance. The card belongs to an investigator with APS. According with their own mission, Adult Protective Services investigates reports involving safety and welfare of vulnerable adults. What makes this notable is timing. APS typically responds to concerns that are reported by someone, whether a neighbor, medical professional, or another agency. It does not automatically mean wrongdoing, but it does not suggest that type of concern may have raised prior to Nancy going missing. At this point, there is no official statement confirming whether APS was involved, who contacted them. This is not an accusation, blah, 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 blah. Do you think this is a coincidence or an overlooked piece of... I feel like I've seen this thing near the start of this case, actually. I don't know why, but I'm having deja vu about seeing it. Did you send me something again? Did you say?
No. Do you want me to read what he said?
No. Sure.
Okay. He said, this is a card from an investigator from Adult Protective Services that was left on Nancy Guthrie's front door. It's safe to say this was left before the crime because this picture was taken in the first day or two, and APS would not visit while there was crime scene and the person was still missing. There would be no reason to do a door knock if they knew the person is missing. Just one more plot twist in a super confusing case. These records are sealed, but it would be very interesting to see what triggered this visit. And then this person made a good point. They said, you don't think law enforcement would have removed that as evidence? It seems almost certain that was left after a crime. And then he said, why would they remove it as evidence? A business card is not evidence. That's like saying, why don't they take the door or window? They process evidence, but a business card is not evidence. So anyway, that's what he had, but I think his picture is better. If you want me to send it.
No. I'm pretty sure that I remember seeing that picture near the start, like, of a card or something on the door. And I just think that I was like, and didn't even look at it or look into it. I just feel like I visually seen this near the start, that somebody put it out there. Maybe it was, I don't know. I just feel like I'm having a deja vu moment on that. I want to go, let me see here.
Oh, here's Grok. And see if the image was real. We'll ask Grok.
Yeah, ask Grok. I'm trying to look for... is this the one? I'm just... Okay, hold on. Yeah, that looks about right. Can't see this. Make it bigger. Let me hit play to this stuff.
Which I thought was kind of interesting because it's only Tuesday. I also knew one of my photographers was able to walk up to the house behind me. And keep in mind, this is no longer a crime scene. I mean, the sheriff made clear that it is no longer a crime scene, that they released it yesterday.
I mean, Let's go. Where's that picture again?
Oh wait, is that the
That's
is that
their
the
front
card?
door. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, that's why I knew I seen it
So it
somewhere.
was real.
Yeah, I knew I seen it somewhere. And I guess this is where I saw it.
And
was on Brian Entin's thing. Yeah. So.
released it yesterday, and
yeah, so I mean,
dang, that's
Yeah.
crazy that they were there before. Shit.
Mhm.
Well, who else would be Adult Protective Services? Who I knew one thing. I've had to call Adult Protective Services before, and I had a patient. Adult Protective Services. I called. Well, I should say as a group we called, and the daughters were taking mom's money, and they did have POA to have access to her money, but they weren't paying her bill for any of her, like, medical bill, her rent, any of that stuff. So her rent went unpaid for I think 6 months or whatever. But when you live in a facility for seniors, you can't just evict a senior. So we had to call Adult Protective Services, but you know what they say? Their thing was, but she's in a safe place that has food, and she's got a roof over her head, and she's got lights and everything, so they did nothing.
Oh.
So that's
Keep talking.
so that's the thing about Adult Protective Services. For them to actually intervene in America, it's pretty hard. Like they have to be some evidence. So I am wondering what kind of call they got that would have even allowed that they prompted them to come out to the home. So that's interesting. Or is that why this whole abduction thing happened? Is because they found out they had a call from Adult Protective Services. That's very interesting. Very interesting. So, chat, what do you think about that? Knowing Adult Protective Services had been out there right before Nancy went missing.
Inquiring minds want to know, chat.
Yes, chat. What do you think?
Hmm.
Or are we the only ones here?
No.
Joe said he was staying. So, Joe, you better still be in chat. Nope, just us.
I was gonna say, Steph, I'm honestly, I'm only gonna be on for like a few more minutes
Okay,
because
bye.
my husband. Go ahead and host it. No, because my husband, he's gonna go over to Nando's there, and I'll probably walk over with him. And my ass is getting
What's
sore.
that?
Nando's,
Yeah.
chicken.
I thought you did KFC. I thought that was your thing.
Husband can't have greasy food like that. He, for some reason, he seems to get this like really bad, what you would call, like, I don't even want to say heartburn, but he calls it that, but it's not. Like, to me, it's like, it's something. Yeah. And all I know is, yeah, no. It's a bad attack when he has, it's just come on in the last like year that he
Yes,
keeps having
gallbladder.
it. Yeah, well, it could be, right? The gallbladder. And that's why I want to have him tested because he thinks that it's this, and I think that it's more the gallbladder by chance. But anyways, yeah. So KFC's not been in my life for a little while. It will definitely come out when Danielle Martel, hopefully ends up going to jail for at least the charges on March 2nd. But anyways, so
I don't even
Nando.
know what's going on with that. Was it the person that I think it was that he hurt?
Who?
Daniel. Was it a
Daniel
person that we all know, like a person that we've heard her name before? Would it is that who he hurt? Don't say her name, but I'm just saying, like, somebody like I might even know her name before.
Yeah. everyone would know
Her name.
Her name, yeah.
Okay. So he's going to go to court for hurting her?
Well, right. So we got sexual assault, confinement, loser,
Yeah.
what else? There's 3. Assault, sexual assault, and confinement. So if they're indictable offenses, then we're talking years. If convicted, if they're summary charges, you're talking a slap on the wrist, maybe a month. Very nominal. So we'll have to see how it has. Usually they don't prosecute unless they have, but who knows how it will turn out. All I know is I call it karma's a bitch. And when you play with fire and you got, and you just fucking got narcissistic and whatever, in my opinion, of course, you want to see narcissism at its finest. Fucking whack job shit going on. Someone, it's very eerie to watch people like that, because they truly believe in their lies. They truly believe that, the gist of everything is, and it goes with anxieties and all that shit. Insecurities, right? Inside, is what stems all of this. Nurture, nature, upbringing, all that crap. But it really boils down with narcissists, right? It's like they put on this mask that they have such fake high self-esteem, in a sense, about themselves, that they just believe their own shit. And that's why I think someone like him can pass a polygraph, because he's truly fucked up in his
he's got
head.
personality disorder. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. And where, who knows? But anyways,
Can I ask you a question about that really quick, though?
Yeah.
Do they give you, I don't know if you guys get affidavits like we do, but do they tell you like when this happened, like if it was in 2026 or 2025 or 2020?
Yeah, they did say like there was certain documents released, and it was, I believe it was it September of 2024 to December. Anyways, it was like, yeah, like in the last, like I said, 2024 to 2025 type of thing. I'm trying to remember the exact dates, but I haven't looked at those documents in a few weeks. So, but anyway, so we'll see. Obviously, they have to have proof, and to proceed, right, for the prosecution to proceed. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with it all. So
prayers to her, because I remember us all giving her so much crap for leaving the day after the kids left, but now it all makes sense. It makes sense.
Like, yeah, I just, at the end of the day, have a hard time anything to do with children, animals, elderly, and stuff like that. To harm people in general. Like I said, this world is very sick and twisted in a lot of ways. I'm not even gonna lie, you guys. I literally have to, boot my ass. 2 minutes to work, right? I have to walk over a little bridge. Nothing major, but it's dark. Okay. I'm sitting there, I open up the gate, and all of a sudden there's somebody behind me, right? Like, because he's walking over the little bridge too. And fucking my heart went out of my frick. I was like, oh my God, like fucking shit. I was like, I literally said that, but I'm telling you, when you're in true crime, you're fucking, your eyes are in the back of your head. You got your keys out. That's just a little freaking walk, and because the sick and twisted shit that you watch daily that happens in these lives real, that you could be walking out of your Walmart. Like, you guys, I spend a ton of time watching like investigative type of documentaries and stuff like that, and you watch someone just go to their car at Walmart, next thing you know, whatever. But I believe this to be true. So for anyone that ever finds himself into this situation, don't ever get your ass into a vehicle if they put a knife or a gun at you. Who gives a fuck? They're going to kill you anyway. Chances are, So you might as well scream, kick, fight, and do anything you can, because anytime that you get into a vehicle, usually your body is found somewhere about a mile away or 20 miles away. It's never a good thing. So when someone said that, whatever, a detective had said that, or someone in crime, like meaning of authority, I agree. I agree, because I watch case after case after case, and you put yourself in, like I said, someone comes up behind you and they got a gun, whatever. Who gives a fuck? You know what? Kick them in the balls, whatever. Kick them in the sea, whatever.
Never go to a crime scene ever.
Yeah, you're better off having a chance at least living, because you're gonna probably be dead anyway, and it's so sad. But anyway, so I was just saying, like, being in true crime, what I've really noticed, what I like that I would have said that I probably got the most out of being in true crime is you never know who's around you. And the States, you guys freaking got 350 something million versus our piddly little 37 million, whatever it is. But still, you never know who's around you at all. These people that could be down on your same freaking apartment complex or something, and be freaking, hackers, ransom people, drug addicts, you guys know what I'm saying, but it's killers. You never know. And that's probably the biggest thing is in the States. Like, for instance, I haven't used Intellius in quite a few months, but normally a case like this, I'd be using Intellis all day long. I'd be putting in Tomato's name. I'd be putting in Annie's name. I'd be pulling up all their phone numbers, email addresses, all their information, all their friends, all the people, you know what I mean? You know what Intellius can do, obviously, yeah? Because in the United States, it will show you all the pedos that are right in your area. All these fuck jobs.
You don't have that?
Eh?
You don't have a sexual list, like of people around you? Really?
No. Canada's quite different for privacy laws. No, we're fucked that way. But in saying that, the US is kind of fucked for how much information I can get on somebody as well. So it's like a good thing for people that are in true crime or wanting to get someone's so there's no real good thing about it. Nobody should be able to access that much information about somebody, honestly. If I can sit there, know your email addresses, your phone numbers for the last 10 years, some banking information, some vehicle information, I shouldn't have that type of access to a person's information. But in the States, you can.
Yep. And it just seems normal to us because we're used to it.
Yeah. Right. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, because again, but being from the true crime side, I like the fact that we get the affidavits, 911 calls, and depending on the state and stuff like that. I mean, especially when you're covering a case like, just like Delphi and that, even though some, have redactions, but I love that part. I mean, if you're trying to cover cases in Canada, you have to do it with very little information, paper wise, video wise, of calls or the calls of 911 and stuff like that. You just don't have access to that stuff. So in the States, you can have access to that stuff almost always, right? Especially Florida. They're probably the worst for
Florida lets you have everything. I love Florida, and I'm glad they're like that. I believe in transparency. Obviously not when it comes to like privacy with little kids or anything, although I believe that like my sweet girl, oh my gosh, my mind blank, my sweet girl, my sweet girl, I can't remember.
You talking about Kate?
Maddie, when Maddie,
Maddie Soto,
yes, when
or Maddie from
Maddie Soto.
Okay.
When Maddie went missing, and then when he was arrested, we got a lot of information and it was amazing how much information we were allowed to get. And I was appreciative of that, and I learned a lot about the Sunshine Law because of that case. Like, I didn't know my mom would always tell me, because my mom lived in Florida for several years, and she would talk about the Sunshine Law, but I didn't really get it till that case. Like, wow, yeah, we can get a lot of information, but there, obviously there's some restrictions when it comes to kids, as there should be. But
yeah,
But I'm sorry to keep you going.
No. I'm gonna piss my pants here, but that's okay.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much for having me, though. It was good to be up here with you again. We'll have to do this again.
Fuck no. You kidding?
Just kidding. I was just
being. A year was enough, man.
I know, man. I was just being polite.
I'm just kidding. But no, before you leave me, I'm just gonna play this part. I want to see if
you were ready to go. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay, no, I'm about to leave your ass in a minute. Absolutely. That's a bunch of love right there. But no, I wanted just to quickly play this, just to see if there's this blue shirt or anything. Let me take off the banner for a second. Blah blah. I always feel naked when it comes down. All right. So let me play this from when he goes up. Okay. Okay, right here. Oh, that's the blue shirt they're talking about.
Tuesday. Also knew
you'll see it in
one of my photographers was able to walk up to the house behind me.
They're talking about that shirt. I still think it's that guy, Kurt, that Brian Entin was interviewing. Same color. See? That's what they're talking about.
And keep in mind.
Oh, okay. This is when they released the crime scene and then went back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Like, why is that thing still sitting there? Unless I can't think of any reason. Like, what do you guys think? Yeah. Why would this even be sitting there? Okay.
No longer a crime scene. I mean,
like, I'm just looking for blood trails.
Sheriff
And then
made
on
clear
top
that it
of
is no
that,
longer a crime scene, that they released it yesterday.
then did you just see that? So right here, you'll see it for a second. Well, why can I see it better? One sec. Right here. Oh, why isn't it showing it better? Come on now. I can see it in this picture. It's like there's like a delivery package right there. You can see part of it in the corner of this video.
Left or right side?
Wait, hold on. I gotta take the banner down. Stop. Is that the right one? Whoops, wrong one. Okay, hide. Wait, come on, hide. There we go. Right there, right side. See, you can see the blue poking out.
No. Oh wait, hold on. It's because I need to put my screen on full.
Yeah,
yeah.
It's just weird that I can see it better when I click over it, like right here. So there it is.
There it is. Yep.
Yeah. And blood splatter. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm absolutely totally gonna piss myself if I don't leave right now.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Gotta give the toilet a drink. Yeah. Anyways, love you.
Love you more, and thank you for having me in chat. It was good to see everybody, new people.
Yeah, I know. In all fairness, it's been a minute, Steffa. I love you, girl.
I love you
when Shannon was like, "Fuck, I'm not coming up there." No, then I was like, "Hey, sloppy second, Steffa."
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Second choice. Don't think so.
To be honest with you, like me, I get so. Between work and everything, honestly, I'm not a big messenger person. And then all of a sudden it's like, I see it. Of course, I remember you, but it's all of a sudden you get kind of going with the case. And all of a sudden it's like, oh, wait, there's Steffa, and it's just like, yeah, been a minute.
Damn.
So
I didn't think of you till I saw you in chat.
Yeah. So next time, which could very well be soon. Next time, get your shit together, get your thoughts together, have it clear and concise of exactly what happened, and you're going to solve the case on the next live.
All right, I'll have that ready for you by morning.
You know what? 6 million Bitcoin. Okay. There's 6 million Bitcoin in it for you, right?
All right, I'm in.
Deborah's going to pay it out. Deborah Dixon. She's going to pay it out to me. And I'm going to pay it out. I'm going to pay it forward and hand it to you. All right.
That's perfect.
Anyways, at the end of the day, you guys, let's put her picture quickly back up. Prayers, of course, for Nancy Guthrie.
Yes.
I pray that she's across the border in Mexico, even that she is still out there. You know, that would be the best case scenario. We always want the victims to be either be found or to be brought back. And in this case, you know, family members usually never give up hope until there's something to show them that, you know, that something actually did happen, and you know, evidence in a sense, because you always want to have that hope. And in this case, there is hope. There is definitely hope. It's not usually how it's going to turn out, but that doesn't mean, like, I mean, everyone can go to the Elizabeth Smart case and go, wow, like, right? So you never know, right? But biggest prayers for Nancy Guthrie and all the family members that have no involvement whatsoever. I mean, maybe none of them actually do, but anyways, I don't know. I just really feel like, I still feel like this case is going to be, I don't know. I feel like it's still going to be solved rather quickly. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I don't feel like it's going to be this long draw. If it is, I'll be a monkey's uncle. Do you think it is? Just quickly?
No, I didn't think we'd go on this long. I really thought, well, even last night when I went to bed, I thought that we were good, because they were like, oh, we got someone in custody. I'm like, okay, they probably got the guy. We were good. Well,
let's pray that doofus at the door is the one that threw out those gloves. Let's just pray.
Yes.
That. But you know what? If he has gloves underneath those gloves, what they gonna matter? Well, maybe a sweat mustache. You know, he went like this at some point. Who knows? But either or, we'll just keep praying and hoping that Nancy is returned. Anyways, love you, girly. You guys, thank you guys for being here tonight. You guys have a great night, and bless you all. And yeah, and thank you, Stefa.
Thank you. Love you, girl. Bye.
Yeah. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye, guys. I'm just going to end the live stream. I'm not playing out anything. Just end it. So take care, guys. Appreciate you. And, oh, wait, I got to do this. Susan, thank you for the super sticker earlier. And Shannon, thank you for the 1 cent more that you beat Susan with. Appreciate that. Sorry, Susan. But anyways, no, just kidding, guys. You guys take care and have a great night. Prayers for Nancy.